Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome people watching the stream. We're here. The overlay's still a little fucked, but I'm gonna fix that as we're going. I didn't want to keep everyone waiting. Yeah. We are here with a session between seasons, you could say. I don't know. I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to call it a new season or just be like, pick it up with the same numbering and everything. But I decided I think it makes sense as a new season. Literally, the entire party is different except for one character now. So, yeah. I like the backgrounds. For once, we actually have we had Tart and I used our cameras for all the first season, but now we have all the players here and the DM all with cameras. We'll see if that continues as we get a couple other people in the game too. So yeah, let's start with that actually. So just due to kind of scheduling things for anyone who watched the first season, which was like 12 episodes. We had like some scheduling things from different people, and so we ended up saying like we're just gonna have to kind of reboot the whole campaign. And Tart is the only one from the original group who is still able to play just with scheduling. That's fine. The other characters, we'll get to what happens to them, but they're not going to just die. They could come back, right?
I killed them all.
But
and Rock's ball.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we'll figure out what happens with them. They might come back in the future. I already know what one of them is gonna have happen to them, for sure. Wink, wink. But yeah, and we're gonna have going forward Tartrus playing his original character Rhuk, and TSM, whose character will not be revealed quite yet. We're also gonna have, I believe it's pretty much confirmed. I haven't made their characters with them, but we're also gonna have one of my friends from the Pagel community potentially play with us, Helios, and we are also probably gonna have joining us next week, hopefully, a friend of mine from real life who I actually played D&D with at Clemson when I was an undergrad. So I've actually played. He's one of the few people who's actually played D&D with me in person.
You're making a big mistake mixing us with your real life.
I mean, like him and we're not like really close real life friends or anything. We literally just know each other from playing D&D in one campaign where I also DM'd and turned his character into a devil. That's a whole other story though. But yeah, okay, I'm trying to fix these cameras still, but it's fine. They're fine. But yeah, so chat, just so you guys know, I have some food in the oven I gotta go pull out in a few minutes, but that's okay. We'll probably actually spend a couple minutes here just recapping anyways. So I'm gonna very briefly go over what basically happened in the first season of this game. We started out in the Europe equivalent of my world, which is very heavily tied to Europe, like very inspired by it. In the kind of like Norse equivalent area. And the group started out basically as joining together with a kind of raiding group, like Vikings basically. Going out on a raiding foray across the sea in a big longboat. But misfortune struck. The group had terrible luck. It seemed, as they essentially were targeted by a couple of other longboats of Viking hunters, basically. They were basically Vikings to the Vikings, People who are so fanatic they want to hunt down the other Vikings. And they were chased basically out of the path that they were on into a storm so far that the vessels reached what is called the barrier. This large wall of light and energy or magic, people aren't really sure, that divides one section of the world away from the rest. It's very mysterious. No one really knows the exact details of who made it, how it works, but what people do know is that generally you don't live upon passing through it. The group managed to call upon the power of their gods, and in a moment of kind of pure luck and magic, what is this? In a moment of pure magic and luck and divine intervention, perhaps, they were allowed to pass through the barrier by being teleported to another realm, a realm of stars, the astral sea that is between worlds. Eventually, after some shenanigans, they made it out of that, and they found themselves on the shores of a new continent, at least new to them. This continent the group has already found has many different factions and forces. There's kingdoms and duchies and, farmlands stretching out in many different directions. The group, before they could even really get a grasp of their situation, was attacked by a group of seemingly giants or half giants. First, they had Sten the Brute, who the group managed to slay. I don't actually remember who got the killing blow on Sten, but the group, it was a whole mess of a fight. The group, it was a big old fight at this water mill. It was pretty good. Then the group, going back to this town they were kind of based out of, finds that it's already under attack by another one of these giants, Hilda the Vulge. The group had a pretty intense fight with her minions, and then as she basically was going to abduct some of the friends of the group tried to intervene. She came down, kind of beat the shit out of them. Although, to be fair, you guys also beat the shit out of her a good bit. You forced her to retreat. It wasn't a full-on retreat, right? You still lost a lot. And yeah, that brought us to where the group decides, hey, this is fucked. We don't really have any connections before. I actually don't remember. I gotta go look at my notes. Who was it who was kidnapped and who was still around?
Was it the old man or Xena that was kidnapped?
It was no. No, Xena was still with you. It was the old man and the captain's daughter.
Ah, okay.
The captain you guys managed to save, basically, because he was the last one getting picked up. It was that a griffin had grabbed the captain and Xena, I believe. And then Adric, so Kragox's character Adric, a druid, turned himself into a squirrel, was it? And then launched himself onto the griffin, managed to bring it to the ground, thus saving the captain of the ship and Xena, your fey elf-looking lady that has been with you guys mysteriously. You guys decided we're gonna go and head out. The captain is gonna stay here, help these people rebuild in this town. You guys decided we're gonna strike out, and you basically just started heading to the west. Actually, let me get onto the map here. Oh no, here we go. Lemur's back, so hold on 1 second. Okay, he'll be fine in a second. Once Lemur comes in. Here we are. So yeah, you guys had this battle with Hilda the Vulge took place in this town here. It's a village, really. It was a decent-sized village, lots of farms in the surrounding area. You guys started heading west. You reached this kind of dwarven frontier town, basically, at the base of the mountains. And essentially then headed up into the mountains. On the way, you actually took a contract to kill a troll. And that actually went pretty well. You guys lured it to a trap. That was the last battle that we had done. Yeah, do you remember that, Tart?
Was I there?
Yeah, you were there, I think.
I don't remember anything about a troll.
Yeah, here, one sec. I'll jog your memory.
Killed a troll. Oh,
You
yeah,
had the
sorry,
whole.
okay, I remember now.
Yeah, you had the whole trap with the campfire and everything.
Yeah, with like that fucking acid blood or whatever.
Yeah, it spewed venomous or like whatever acidic blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. And then you took its head to bring. Basically, you took this job on the way into the mountains because there's a pass, like, checkpoint controlled by the dwarves here. And the town you had passed through, the captain of the guard was like, oh yeah, that's, like, controlled by us. If you bring them the head, he'll give you money. He'll give you your reward. And I actually looked in my notes to try and find what the reward was exactly, and I didn't find it, so I must not have written down, which is bad of me. But that's okay. We'll just make up a number. That sounds right. And yeah, so that is basically where our group was. At this point, the group consists of Rhuk, the raised by orcs human, who considers himself to be an orc, pretty much, right? Is my understanding. We also have Adric and Landor, who themselves are from a race of giants, basically. Or more like half giants. They stand around 10 feet tall, generally. And they have gathered a lot of attention in this area because besides the similar looking people, giants who have attacked you guys, you haven't seen any other form of giants. And then you also had Drake's character, Torgir, who is a mage who has very little, or sorcerer rather, who has very little control over his magics and poofs in and out of existence randomly. You also have Xena, the Fey woman who is with you guys, who has apparently also been a target of some attacks. And you also now have, I gotta find his name, there's also a student with you guys.
You guys have an intern?
There is a student. He didn't die, did he, in the troll fight? He, like, hid in the tent, right?
I don't remember. I know we used him as bait, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, he's alive. And his name is, I do have it here somewhere. I have it here somewhere, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Callow. There it is. Oh god, and then Landor, Perplex's character, gave him some of the Astral Sea goop water. I forgot about that. Yeah, so you have a couple other NPCs with you guys. Yeah, what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of skip through. So that's the recap of everything so far. At this point, we're going to kind of skim through the kind of next events of the next couple weeks, really. You guys had been, heading to the west over this pass. This pass would, if you were able to just fly over it, right? This pass would take maybe a week to travel through. But it is at a time where there's still some snow. It is, I think I described it. Yeah, we're in like springtime, right? So there's still some snow. These mountains are not insanely tall, but they're tall enough where it is snowy and tough to pass through at this time of year. And because of that, it will take probably a couple weeks of travel. There are a couple villages and dwarven settlements kind of scattered throughout the highlands here, but you would know that a lot of it is just going to be trekking. And yeah. As you guys are heading along, Rhuk, you would, I think, had Rhuk been trying to learn any languages? I can't remember.
No.
Okay. No, I think it was Landor trying to learn Orcish, not the other way around, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys do make it to the pass entrance, and you are rewarded by the lieutenant there with a, I think I had actually said, I do remember it was like 200 gold or something was the reward, I'm pretty sure. And I think you guys asked for like 50 up front. I might be wrong on the exact numbers, but that sounds about right. So that's what we're going to say, is that you guys would get 150 gold, which Tart, your character would get, I guess, 50 of, but we'll talk about money in a bit. It doesn't matter right now.
Yeah.
As you guys get going through the pass, you're rewarded here, and the dwarves would kind of give you guys like a warning, like, don't. They would say, like, don't go off the trail, watch out for bears, watch out for griffins, watch out for other things, all these things to watch out for. But you guys aren't too worried about that. And you head off through the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
The first week or so goes by without much incident. You guys do actually have to fight off a pack of, like, goblins at one point. But we don't even need to get into that, because for you guys it's so easy that it's not even worth going into. Right? And it's just the type of thing that happens in the mountains here. You do go through like one or two dwarven little settlements, mining towns, where you at least get like a little break from the cold in some tavern inn combos. But in general, you're mostly in your tents. A couple days after, so like maybe a little over a week into this journey, when you're kind of way up in like the middle of the mountains, you guys do come to a fork in the road, and it's less of a fork, it's more like the main road keeps going, but there's this little side path. And it's been at this point a couple days since the last little mining town. And it does actually say, and this is where I did not have enough time to think of, there would be a name of a village, right? And if anything, it actually makes sense. None of your characters know the language here. The wizard apprentice would relay the meaning of the name. It's like Mountain Refuge is the name of this town, or this village, apparently, that there's a sign for. What was I say? I apologize. There's the name of it on a sign, Mountain's Refuge, or Mountain Refuge. And then kind of another sign below it says, do not enter if you are dwarven. Basically, no dwarves allowed. And yeah, I gotta grab my foot at the oven so it doesn't burn. I'll be right back. And but Rhuk, you can be thinking about if you want to spend the night here or not.
All right.
I'll be right back.
So it's like a racist ski lodge, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I kind of look at that sign. I'm like, Rhuk isn't a dwarf. Rhuk can stay here.
I'm actually gonna have some water while he's away too.
All right.
Carry this drink.
I need to ask Stud about Greenie the giant elk. I think Greenie's still with us too. Troopa, why does that channel have such cursed emotes? I looked at the channel as well, and it's not even a cursed channel. He's just like a normal dude playing games. I don't understand why the emotes are so cursed. IBD? What's IBD? Inflammatory bowel disease? That's a passion? Outside gaming.
I apologize for that. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm back.
Yo, what about Greenie the elk? Is Greenie still with us?
Oh yeah, Greenie. I forgot about the giant elk, who is like when I say giant elk, it's like from hooves to antlers. It's like 15 feet tall. Like, it's huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, Greeny is with you. He'd be
Okay.
with Landor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you would approach this kind of like intersection, this T intersection, and the option is up to you guys if you would continue straight down the road, just camp along the side of the road, or go into this town for the night. It does say no dwarves allowed, but it doesn't say anything about, you know, any of you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I see the sign. I go, well, Rhook's not an orc. Rhook can stay here.
He isn't?
Let's go. Or Rhook's not a dwarf. He can stay here. Let's go in.
He does, yeah. Well, he's not an orc either, alther he thinks he is.
Hey, no, he is an orc.
2
I
minutes in,
mean,
major plot revelation.
but yeah. So
He sees his first mirror. Oh my god.
This episode is about Rhook and his introspection and midlife crisis.
yeah. So yeah. No. The you would okay. Yeah. You go into this town. It's like a mile up this side road, but it's not too out of the way. Yeah, it actually is. It is a very kind of like quiet little town. It's clear that they are like there are farms in the surrounding area. These are like highlands, right? But that doesn't mean that they can't grow crops here. It just has to be, you know, they have like lots of like potatoes and stuff, right? That grows in kind of hardy areas like this. I mean, it's now like, again, this is like early springtime, so they are just kind of now planting crops or still kind of living off their winter stash. It seems, or at least that's what you would think. The weird thing is you don't see anyone, even though like the day you're coming through here is decently nice and the snow is starting to melt. You don't see anyone working in the fields, even though this would be the right time. And Rhuk, this actually reminds you a lot of like the area you grew up in, Highlands, you know, where a lot of this kind of agriculture is done.
Are these people humans? They're just people living up here?
Yeah, and you see a couple in their kind of like farm areas, their farmsteads, but they all just kind of like look up at you guys and stare. They don't really give any signs of fear, any signs of welcoming, anything.
Yeah,
And
just continue forward.
Yeah. And you guys can continue into this town. The village center itself is pretty small. They do seem to have like their own like smithy and stuff. There's only one tavern with just a few rooms. And what you do notice though is that kind of like separate from the village, perched up, you know, a couple thousand feet away, perched up actually pretty high on a nearby like small peak of the right, this is kind of on like a hillside, this area, and at the very top of this hill up a winding path is a small castle, really more of a keep. It's not really a castle, but a small keep nonetheless, in a spot where it can overlook not only this village but also the whole surrounding area. And yeah, this village under kind of the shadow of this keep is here. As you guys enter the village proper, the people still are kind of just giving you stares.
PSM?
I just got a really weird Mio ad on your channel. Like,
Oh, no.
there's like a miner in a collapsed cave, and they put down a little bucket, and he pulls the Mio out of the bucket, pours it into his water, and he's like, "Oh."
What? That is strange. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So, roll me a perception check, or no, either perception or insight. I'll let you choose, Tart.
Okay. Rick.
Insight would be more relying like on your gut. Perception more relying on just your eyes and what you see, right?
I already rolled it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Looking around, something just feels and like looks weird. You can't quite place your finger on it. Something about this place just seems weird. And all the people around you are kind of just giving you, like, looks. One thing you notice is that there are all different types of people here. Most of them are humans. There are there's a few halflings as well. No dwarves though.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them are of different, like, there are many different, like, tones of skin color among them, and styles of hair, and even styles of attire. Seems to be like a very diverse place.
How many people live in this town?
I mean, there's only in the area right around the village center, only maybe 100. But there's a lot of them are coming out to, like, see you guys. Although all they do is pretty much just stare.
Mm-hmm. Do I see like a tavern or?
Yeah. There's like only one tavern
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, let's go there. Book some rooms. What time is it right now?
This would be like the evening and stuff, which is kind of why it was like convenient to your guys' travel.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the tavern, book some rooms for the night.
Yep. When you get into the tavern keeper, also a human, kind of this burly dude. He's like, "What can I do for you?" Oh, well, I mean, you wouldn't understand when he says. Some of the other party members might, but you could get the tone still.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he clearly is like not really like distrusting, but clearly kind of like just wary of the outsiders, it seems.
Okay. Weird in a diverse town such as this, of 100 people.
And yeah, you guys get some rooms, and you can actually tell, and Landor be translating for you, that he kind of the innkeep starts going back and forth with you guys, asking you stuff like where you coming from, where you going to, what's your deal, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Would Rhuk share any of that?
Where were we going? Why are we going west again?
I don't think you had any specific plans. It was basically first, I think your goals in order were like, first, get some distance between you and that town where you were attacked. That was the main thing, right? So as long as you're going west, that's happening. But then I think your plans were either going to be go to the Boarmen of the south.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because they're kind of like a big, strong, independent faction that you guys were thinking about going to. Or potentially going to like the university town that the kid is from.
Okay.
I think it was one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, the road through the mountains leads to this town here, which is like the next stop before you decide that.
Okay.
But yeah, so so would you share this with the dude? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'd say we're gonna go hunt some boars.
Okay. The dude is like, "Oh, are you a fighter then?"
You want to arm wrestle?
Actually, yeah. He chuckles and he's like, "Haven't arm wrestled in ages." Sure.
Nice.
And
right, let's sit down. Let's do it.
He'll arm wrestle you. I need you to make he'll just go over to like the nearest table in the tavern. It's pretty slow right now. In fact, you know what's interesting? You don't notice a single person in the tavern. Just you guys. No locals.
Okay. What was it like that when we came in there, or they just cleared out pretty fast?
Yeah, no, there was no one in here when you entered either. So.
Okay. All right, but before the arm wrestling competition, I'd like to use my Mace of Terror on him. No.
Okay, I was gonna say you'll definitely know that. It's not like okay, yeah, go ahead and roll me a
Strength?
athletics check. Yeah.
Athletics. Okay. Oh, okay.
Not bad. He's gonna roll as well. Oh god, hold on.
Bruh.
Here's the thing. That's really funny. I did roll really lucky. Not only that though, even if it's one of those things where like Rhuk is real strong, right? And Rhuk is like really, really strong for a human of this size, or sorry, an orc wannabe of this size. But the thing is that this man that he's up against he looks strong. Again, he's kind of a burly guy, but this guy just goes bam.
The nat 20 ripped my arm off.
No, he slams
my shoulder.
He slams your arm to the table with surprising ease. He like, obviously the dude's strong, but this was much stronger than you even expected.
1d4 psychic damage.
He has unreasonable strength for his size. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look at him strange. I'll be like, oh, yeah, good arm wrestle, congratulations. And I'm gonna like look at him strange and then go to my party and say, you know, something's up with him. He's way stronger than he should be.
Okay. I'm trying to think what they would say. Landor, you know, Perplex's character Landor would probably be like, you're just salty, you lost. That's what Landor would do. Torgir would be like, so what? I don't care. Adric would probably be the only one to take you seriously. And Adric would be like, what do you mean? What do you mean is wrong with him? Or with this, you know. What did you say? You said something is wrong, right? Something's up.
Yeah, he's way stronger than he should be. Yeah. I'll just say, you know, I've arm wrestled a lot of people in my life, and I know how to judge a guy by his size, and that he's way too strong.
Adric would be like, what do you think we should do with him?
I don't know. He's probably just a steroid user.
Adric would definitely, though, again, take you seriously. He'd be like, he would kind of lean in closer. This is probably why you guys are eating around a table or something. He would say, like, we should, if Rhuk has suspicions, we should keep our weapons close to us tonight. But yeah, how late do you and, by extension, the rest of the group stay up? Drinking, eating, whatever.
Pretty early night. Go to bed by 10.
Okay, yeah, you are traveling, so you probably want to get on the road the next day.
We have a long journey, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so then you all are able to go to bed then. And
okay.
I'm going to go check out something real quick with Lemur. I'll be right back. I apologize. There shouldn't be any more interruptions after this. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that you were so musical.
The what?
No. Yeah, it's okay.
So, you guys, you all head to bed. I need a perception check from you with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Right.
Yep, when you're sleeping, you're less aware.
Okay.
So, it's one of those things where, as you're kind of sleeping, you kind of toss and turn, like you don't sleep very well. And at some point, you have a nightmare. And it's reliving the fight with Hilda, where Shoal died.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, did he die against Sten or Hilda? I can't remember.
Hilda.
Okay, yeah, because he got his head lopped off, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He got like a rib broken against Sten, like bashed with the hammer, but he was alive. He almost died there. Then you guys rushed into the Hilda fight a little unprepared, and he got his head lopped off with I think he got crit or something. It was pretty brutal. But yeah, so you kind of relive that night. The night that Shoal died, you see his head get lopped off again in your dreams. And then the head on the ground in a twisted nightmare way looks up at you in your dream and says, Rhuk, Rhuk, don't let this happen to you. Do not lose your head.
It could happen to you.
And snapping awake from the kind of, the horror of this, Rhuk realizes there's a axe over his neck right now. In real life.
Mm-hmm. Is it like coming down or what's going on?
Yeah, it's getting ready for a swing.
Okay, I roll to the other side of where it's coming from. Yep.
Sorry. And,
Yep.
quickly rolling out of the way.
Don't get your head chopped off.
quickly rolling to the side, you barely dodge the strike of this axe as it crashes into the bed, and you see just a random villager, it looks like, one of the villagers here from the town holding the axe. And this villager is like a scrawny dude. He is like average human size, right? And his axe blow completely shatters the whole bed. Whole thing explodes. Again, strength that you would not expect from this guy. And looking at him, you see that his eyes are glowing red. Just faintly.
Okay.
But they are glowing. And he kind of looks at you and like goes like and you see fangs in his mouth. You also, kind of quickly coming to now, you hear screams in the tavern from other rooms, perhaps of your companions.
Okay, I was gonna ask if we were in the same room.
No,
Well,
you would have all had
style.
different rooms, yeah.
Okay, we all
The
had
rooms are
different
pretty
rooms?
small, so yeah, it's like,
Okay.
just a traveler's inn, so there's kind of small little spaces.
Is my sword close enough to me to grab?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And you grab it, and we're not going to get into combat here. It's going to be more cinematic. But how do you want to try to deal with this thing, whatever it is?
I grab my sword and fucking do a stab straight at him. No
It's
swipe,
one of-
just stab.
It's one of those things that he didn't seem to actually be expecting it, really. So when you stab him, you like literally run him through, right?
Okay.
Pin him against the wall, like the wooden wall, your sword goes into it, literally impaling him on the wall. And he just like looks down at it and then looks back at you as like and says something in a language you don't understand. But clearly mocking. He does not seem to be phased. Whatever he is not taken out by that. Do you keep fighting him or
Don't get your head cut off.
Don't get my head cut off. No. I'm gonna book it and go to Adric's room.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
You kind of like burst out into the hallway. You see just like all of the doors of the other rooms are open. And you see the wizard's apprentice. You see that he was the source of the screams. In his room, like you just got the angle, you kind of look to the side, you can see that there are like 3 villagers, and they're all on his body with their mouths going like.
Yeah.
Adric and Landor, you actually don't see in their rooms. You actually hear them. You hear the sounds of commotion from downstairs. Sounds like they might be fighting down there. You hear Adric and Landor yelling back and forth at each other. And you hear like the clanging of blades and stuff. You do see Xena in her room using some of her basic magics that she has to hold off another one of these creatures.
Okay.
And
Do I have time?
Greenie's
to-
outside somewhere,
Greedy. Do I have time to take everybody's gold that's not in their rooms?
There are actively a few of these villagers who turn their attention to you. And you did impale that one and then rip your sword out. And that one is already getting up to come after you still.
All right.
And, you're confident you could probably take on a couple. But there are, you're starting to draw the attention of multiple.
How big is this tavern?
It's not too big.
Is it like a
Like-
Hilton Garden Suite, or is it like a
Like how
multiple
many
6?
feet? Yeah, give me approximate footage.
Yeah. So, you're in, a hallway at the back of it, right?
Okay.
Then there's, the main tavern room, which is maybe, I don't know, 40 feet by 40 feet or something.
Okay. I am gonna use an action for my Mace of Terror, and then terrify all of the whatever these creatures are.
Okay, yeah, throw that in the chat if you can. I think you
Like
can
what it does?
Yeah, it's just so I can.
Okay.
So we can see it. There we go. What do you use to release a wave of terror? Yeah, 30-foot radius will cover most of the tavern. Not quite all of it, but pretty much all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Each creature of your choice. So I'm assuming you're going to exclude your companions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they will do that or become frightened. Yeah. Okay. And actually, yeah, you can actually see quite a few of these creatures. About half of them are immediately struck by this wave of fear, and their faces that have been kind of cold expressions right until now turn to fear. And some of them scramble. The one that was in the room with you that you ran through actually is one of the ones affected. They quickly scramble backwards and jump out the window, breaking the glass as they go. And yeah, it seems to have bought you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
for
gonna use
1
that
minute.
time. Yeah, 1 minute.
That's 12 rounds, right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Long time.
Well, but it is one of those things where they get to repeat the saving throw.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But still, Jesus.
it depends on how unlucky they are.
Yeah, that's from that like crazy treasure roll that we got, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll use some of that time to try and regroup with my companions, see what happened to them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, Rhuk is decently, tactically minded, right? So he probably, seeing the quickest path, what he does, I imagine, is kind of like goes by and just grabs Xena from her room, literally yanks her. You don't see Torgir anywhere, by the way. Like, he might have just disappeared, which is pretty on brand for him. But you grab Xena from her room. The wizard, you can tell, is already dead and getting the life sucked from him, it seems. You grab Xena and run into the kind of like main area of the tavern where you could hear fighting before. And now that you're around the corner, you can see it. Landor with his pan and Adric with his spear have kind of formed a little phalanx in the corner where Landor's just going like blocking with the shield constantly, and Adric is going bam bam stabbing these things in the torso and head, and he's taken out a few. Actually, it seems like they're on the ground, dead maybe, who knows, but they're out of the combat. But more are coming in. You actually see that there are, like, as you speak, like 3 or 4 more just come piling in through windows, not even through the doorways, leaping in with agility that is unexpected. And you and Xena are there.
So, Landor and Adric, they have no chance of just running. They have to deal with the creatures in front of them first, right?
Yeah, they're kind of pinned in.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, Adric sees you, and he's like, Rhuk, just get out, don't worry about us.
I can see where this is going. But what if?
What do you
what
mean?
If, though?
Yeah, what if TSM doesn't get to play it all this session?
Yeah, what if I just try to save them?
You can, yeah. It's up to you.
Let's see, I'm just looking at what I have. I have 7.85 cubic feet of cool ass water.
Yeah.
I mean, I could use another charge of my Mace of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use another charge of a Mace of Terror, and everybody in the tavern, other than my companions, they can get the fuck out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's one of those things where, again, like, some of the creatures succeed, right? About half of them fail, though. And that is enough where Adric and Landor are able to kind of just, like, bash through the last couple ones that had them pinned. And they kind of run out to you in the middle of the room. And I'm assuming, are you going to make a break for, like, one of the doors or windows?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, and your whole group kind of moving together now, runs, bashing through a couple of them of these villagers on the way. The innkeeper blocks the door with his burly self, and he's like, But at this point, you guys just basically charge through. Rhuk and like Landor probably leading the charge. You might even like, it's probably one of those things, you literally lop off one of his arms, of this innkeeper who does not have any weapons out. And he's still.
I'm gonna say, try arm wrestling me now.
Yeah.
Run away.
And the dude looks at his arm where it was, and then looks as like, ugh, before Landor just like smacks him with the pan out of the way. And you guys manage to make it out into the middle of the this kind of village town square, right? Where unfortunately you see that there are dozens more of these things moving in from all sides. And then all of a sudden, swooping down, you see like a kind of winged figure swoop down, and then kind of hovering, flapping its wings in the air. You see it seems to be like a man. And he flaps his wings, his bat-looking wings there. And says, "You all have fought well, but it's time for you to become our feast."
Do we see any way to just run?
It's one of those things where you guys
we're
are
completely surrounded?
you're pretty hemmed in, so it seems like whatever you do, maybe your last action, your last choice to make, perhaps. Does Rhuk submit, or does he defiantly do something?
Can I trade?
What do you mean?
Take Xena and then let us go?
It seems like they intend to feast on all of you.
Say, why take one when they can easily have you all of you?
Can I
As Rhuk is
confront him for one-on-one combat?
I mean, you could challenge him.
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge him to
Okay.
one-on-one combat, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of like when you stand up and you point your weapon at him, right? He's like, he like, it's again, you don't even have anyone to translate for you, really. So it's more like you could just tell that he's kind of mockingly looking down at you. But you actually feel a hand on your shoulder, and Adric comes forward and he says to you, actually in Orcish, Adric has been learning a little bit of Orcish, just enough where you can kind of get some basic sentences through. And he says, "Don't. I have this." And Adric steps forward, and you guys have seen him use his like bow of light before a few times, right? Where he kind of calls upon the power of the stars to power him. And you see like a glow come over his eyes as he opens up his like palms outward and calls upon the stars in a like burst of magical energy. And all of a sudden, beams of light start like shining down from the stars, and some of them randomly hit these creatures, whatever they are. And as the beams of light hit them, they like scream and are literally disintegrated. The big one, this leader one, has to like kind of swoop out of the way and dodge out of the way. And they all start rushing forward, but Adric's magical beams are kind of cutting swaths through them. And he just yells as his eyes are glowing, like looking up the sky, glowing with light. And he just yells, "Go!" And he actually even, he's right next to you. You see that he, with one hand taking it, he like literally grabs the bag, which holds most of your guys' stuff, and literally tosses it to you.
Does it include all the gold?
Yeah.
Okay,
Conveniently, everyone conveniently decided to leave their gold with him to take care of.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah. Landor and Xena don't even wait like as long as Rhuk does. They're just gone. They dart in different directions. And you basically just, I'm assuming, take the closest path that you see out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that like a couple of these things manage to get their like claws into you as you go, but you just charge through. You have enough strength that Rhuk just charges through.
Okay.
And looking over your shoulder, you can see Xena going a different way, Lander going a different way, being chased as you are. Greenie, you actually see Greenie off in the distance, rearing up and like kicking at some more of these corrupted villagers, whatever they are. And
is Greenie too big for me to ride?
yeah.
Okay.
And also, you
never
don't
mind.
know you don't have like riding as a skill, so.
Bruh, orcs had horses, didn't they?
I mean, you probably had some, but I don't know if your character is trained in that. So
You
yeah,
used to call me Horse Lord.
yeah.
Horsey boy.
So you managed to
Pony boy.
you managed to push through this horde of creatures, and you just run and run and run until you're under the moon and stars in a patch of forest high in these hills, and you think that you are finally. Oh god, my phone just activated with voice stuff. That's weird. You finally think that you are safe. You literally probably ran for a couple hours straight and just can't go any further. The last thing you remember seeing, looking over your shoulder, was Adric sitting there being approached on all sides, but taking a fair number of them with him.
I just keep on running.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. I run into the night. I don't stop until the morning light.
All right, make me a Constitution saving throw. So, this is a very strenuous task, right? Or just running through the whole night, and you feel your body screaming to stop, but you don't stop. And luckily, you are a tough, raised by orcs barbarian. You push through, and you're not affected. Obviously, you're gonna have to rest at some point, but you don't collapse from exhaustion along the way. As you just push, keeping you're used to growing up with only the light of the moon and stars over you at night, in hills like these, so you're able to keep the right direction roughly, right? You're heading to the west still, but now off the main path, just running. Eventually morning comes, and at this point you think there's no way that they could have followed you this far. You're on your own. You do have with you, so let's go over what you actually have.
Yep.
Okay. And then, how much gold did you have before this?
Well, I had a lot more because I got something early on. So, how much did everybody else have? The other three should have the same amount, almost.
Yeah, let me go. Actually, I can go look.
Yeah. I think I had those diamonds and I got something for them, or I don't know.
Yeah. Let me just check. Yeah, okay, so what you're gonna get from the recent job you did and all the gold of your friends, you're gonna come away with that with 250 gold pieces.
Okay.
And 100 silver, which is just more like what you use day to day. Gold in this area, you found out, is pretty valuable and is only really used for big purchases. It almost takes the role of what platinum normally would be. Gold coins are actually somewhat rare.
40. Okay. All right.
You.
With my newfound wealth, I am going to travel to a faraway town, contract somebody to make a little log cabin for me in the mountains, and I'm going to live there peacefully for the rest of my life.
Well, there's a few steps along that way.
Whoa.
You would also have. There's a couple other things that you guys had that I have written down here. You have 2 potions of healing, so make sure you put that in your inventory down below.
Greater or lesser?
Just normal, yeah, normal ones.
Normal. Okay.
Yeah. There is a spell scroll that you don't know how to read, but is probably worth some money for someone. You could sell it for some money. You also have. Hold on. There was a saddle, but unfortunately the saddle was with Greenie. You have the Mace of Terror.
Yep.
You also have a potion of animal friendship that Lander would have explained to you like what it does. Which I don't remember what it does, but it makes you friends with animals. I think it lets you even like control an animal. I don't remember. But yeah. And then you also have something that might be of use to you. Before you had chosen not to use it, but your circumstances have changed. There is a helm of understand language.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a decorative helmet. It doesn't actually like add to your armor class or anything. But there is a helm. It's kind of decorative helmet, or like almost more like a crown almost, right? Or hat. That is, if you attune to it, grants you the ability to understand languages.
Did we actually have that, or is it now because I only speak Orcish?
You like, actually already had that.
This?
No,
Okay.
yeah, you actually already had that. It was from that big,
out.
you know that big group of kobolds that attacked you, like 30 of them that swarmed you.
Yeah.
They had it in their loot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and at the time, I did put it there originally for your character, but then you were like, nah, I don't need it. But now, now circumstances have changed, so I'm glad I put it there before. So if you attune to that, let's see. It's not like always active, but what it does is, hold on, let me go check. It's not always active, but literally, but it is unlimited actually. It's one of those things like literally, it's once you find someone that you need to talk to, right? You just like say the magic word, and you can now understand them for well, like 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, and then it lasts for an hour. So, yeah, okay. So you have this with you. You have your helm. You have these other items. Is the plan to head? You know, you did have like a rough map of these mountains and stuff. That is also there conveniently. So you do know like that. You know, you don't necessarily know exactly where you are since you ran randomly for a long time. But you know that if you head west far enough, and especially if you find the road again, you can reach this big trading hub town that would have lots of options.
Excuse me, instead, I think you'll find that I have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and I can always recall the general layout of terrain.
Okay, yeah.
I know exactly where I am.
Alright, yeah. You can, it's one of those things where, like, even though you've never been in this area before, you can kind of, like, use your recollection of how these kind of valleys and hills are laid out, right? And basically think like, okay, well, the road has to be, you know, north of me or whatever. So then I'll go at an angle and meet up with it, and then you're good.
Yeah, it doesn't change what's going to happen. I'm going to go to the city.
Okay.
The nearest city that we were going to go to.
Yeah, it's one of those things where traveling on your own, it might, I don't know, how would Rhuk feel about that? Would it put him more on edge, or?
No, I'd be okay with that. You know, in the Orc Hills of my homeland, I do it all the time.
You feel nothing for the last of your your companions for the last few weeks.
You know,
Void.
survival of the fittest. I couldn't understand them most of the time anyway.
Yeah. And you head along the way. Once you do reach the road again, you actually pass every once in a while another traveler, right? And they'll give you interesting looks. Rhuk is like has a very striking appearance. If I'm correct, does he have like filed down teeth to like resemble tusks, right?
Yeah. He filed down his teeth to have like, you know,
like his
big
canines.
incisors and
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. He's got quite a striking appearance then.
Now that Rhuk doesn't have a party, he's become unhinged and he starts to attack every traveler.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gold hungry.
I'm assuming you're not gonna like just murder them. You're just gonna extort them for their money.
Yeah, I'm gonna like intimidate them.
I mean, it's up to you. Yeah. Tart immediately becomes murder hobo. No. Yeah, no, I'm assuming you do it to like single targets, easy targets. You probably don't do it against a group of like, mercenaries or anything, but
yeah, just weak people.
Yeah, those you do that to a couple people. Some of them cry when you like take their wealth. There honestly aren't a lot of people traveling alone though, so that's probably like 2 people, maybe 3.
Rhuk uses his helm of understand language to extort people on the road.
Oh, jeez. And eventually, you kind of start leaving the mountain range, and
okay,
you get more into like these rolling hills. It seems like this area is still full of valleys. Just now, instead of valleys between mountains, it's just rolling hills with lots of greenery all around. With farmlands here and there along riversides and stuff. It seems like a very prosperous area that you're entering as you're kind of like, didn't mean to do that. Wait, why does he have a...
I don't know why I'm red. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so this is Shoal. This is Shoal's icon, but he's the party icon now.
Okay.
I guess now I can just use your icon because you're alone, so... Hold on. Where is... There you go. There's Rhuk.
61.
So, let me actually make it so the stream's a little more zoomed in on the map. Eventually, you do manage to, you're basically at this point now, kind of coming out of the hills, right?
Okay.
And yeah, you do see, farmlands all around. Like occasionally you'll pass a village, and there's even like a decent sized town along the way, but you don't really stop there much. You know that the big city is further up ahead, and that's where you're probably going to find more. But clearly this is a prosperous area. It seems like the trade that comes over the mountain passes through here, so it gets a lot of trade throughout the year. Just not really during the winter that you're coming out of now into the spring. You do also notice in like the town that you pass through, which again is not big enough to really offer any big amenities, but is there are also a decent presence of like guards and security. It seems like the area has a decent garrison. And you recognize, you don't recognize the symbols on them, but it's clearly some sort of like coat of arms essentially, or insignia that they all carry. So there's clearly some sort of nobility or some sort of order that they have here. And you eventually reach the city. Using your Helm of Comprehend Languages, you're able to piece together the name of the city and some details about it. The name of the city, which I will put on the map now, is Punesufke, or just Pune. Which you would actually know, or you would know because of your spell that lets you know. It just means like Valley City, City of the Valley. And I'll just put that on the map so we have it. Names. So you would reach the city of Pune. And as you kind of are getting to the outskirts of the city, this is a big city. In fact, this might be the biggest city that Rhuk has ever been in. Because
even more than that coastal city.
The coastal city was like to put it in rough terms, the coastal city was maybe like 10,000 people in the city area, and then more around it, but pretty spread out. This city seems like it's at least like 50,000 people or something, which for this time period, right, is like, that's a lot. It's the city center is quite dense. There's not a ton of tall buildings. It's pretty spread out still, but as you're kind of entering the edge of the city, what you notice is that as you've been passing like the farmlands further out over the past few days, most of the people there have clearly been like just peasants working in their fields, right? Here, you see a lot of the same thing as you're getting close to the city, But you also see some farms. Most of the farms are just peasants. Some are what look like peasants until you notice that they are chained together in groups. And most of the people there are of various different races. Some of them are elves, some of them are dwarves, some of them are humans, clearly from different areas, right? It basically, putting it together, it seems like prisoners of war, right? That have now been drafted as slaves to work on these fields.
Do orcs use slave labor?
It's one of those things that in the past they have, but the orc area that you're from kinda is, they're like the underdogs of the area, to the point where they generally try to not anger the humans, because the human settlements near them are generally strong enough that they could wipe out the orcs if they wanted to, but they have an unsteady peace right now.
Okay, so this is like a past thing.
There's probably some, you would be roughly familiar with slavery, because lots of times the Viking raider humans that you live near would lots of times bring back humans as trophies of war and stuff. So yeah,
okay,
so it's a thing you're aware of. It's just not you've never seen it in this setting of an industrious clearly this is a whole enterprise here.
Yeah, I mean, figures we're in North America.
Yeah, Minkus. But no, the as you're entering the city as well, you can clearly tell that this city is very stratified, right? There is peasants everywhere, most of whom aren't slaves, but are clearly just slaves to the system regardless. The peasants kind of in the streets, the kind of outer areas of the city are more like slums. But you do, as you get closer to the center, you start to see that there is kind of separate districts where there are people who are clearly merchants or landowners who have basically the other peasants and stuff will clear the way for them. This is clearly a very stratified place. It's not stratified to the point where people are actively checking if people are slaves or not, right? But it is clearly everyone knows their place here. And you don't really see much of a middle class. It seems like it's either landowners or merchants, and then way down here, peasants and laborers. Maybe there's some artisans that seem like they're kind of in a middle class, but there's not too much of that.
Okay. With my newfound gold, I'd like to break into the landowner class, please.
Okay. I mean, yeah, so you have enough money relative to the kind of wealth standards here that you could definitely buy wealthy accommodations at a very fancy tavern.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait. At a tavern?
Well, I mean,
just to stay in for a night?
The what?
I'd like to own the building and then rent it out for a steady income in the future. That's what I'm saying.
You don't have that much money.
Oh, okay.
You don't have that much money. You have, how much gold do you have now?
240, and I also have 3 diamonds.
Yeah, you might be able to rent out the whole tavern for a few weeks.
Okay.
But you do not have enough to buy a tavern, especially not a nice one. So
you can afford a tavern, but it's going to be a dingy tavern.
You could buy some slums and be a slumlord.
I could. Yeah, could I buy some slums instead?
Well, how are you going to do? You literally just got here. You probably have to spend a few days kind of getting to know the city.
All right.
So, and that's the thing, right? You are sure from being in cities of similar size, if not this big, you'd be sure that you could probably find work here. You could probably find leads on things, right? But it will take a few days. So in the meanwhile, where do you kind of set up your base of operations? Again, you have enough money. You could go to a fancy place. You'd probably draw more attention there as an outsider. Or you could go to a slum place. It's up to you.
So you said there's no middle class here. Does that mean there's no kind of average taverns I could go to?
There are some, right? Kind of near, in the artisan district, right? There's, and it's not super finely laid out, but near the area where most of the artisans are, right? The tanners and smiths and stuff. there is in that part of like the city, there's like 1 or 2 taverns that are kind of middle range.
Okay. Yeah, let's just go to a middle range tavern in the artisan district.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah,
Rhuk loves artisanal goods.
yeah, and you'll not have any issues there. I would say probably take out like 3 gold. Just that would pay for. I mean, I don't know. Do you pay in advance for like a week or something, or like just day by day?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, just take out like 3 gold then. That would honestly pay for like pretty decent accommodations. Like you get
cut
like
lavender soap.
no, well, yeah, there actually would be soap for paying like here you would get decent accommodations. They would probably actually take your clothes and like wash them for you and stuff. Like it's not like quite as fancy as you get if you went to one of the fancy ones where they have like baths and everything, you know. But you draw a lot less attention here. You get some looks, but there are all sorts of people here. You notice as you're in the first days, you're kind of just getting used to this place. You actually see that there are, beyond like the locals, there are also lots of merchants from out of town, right? You see some more of these draconic elves that you have learned that they're called, the dragon elves. Elves that, they look like normal elves except for the fact that they have scales on their arms, their cheeks, and sometimes other spots that are visible, their legs, right? And there's varying degrees of it, varying colors of these scales. But these dragon elves you see around a good bit. You also see dwarves. You see normal elves, which you actually haven't seen until now, really. And you actually start to see some boarmen.
Oh.
Only a few here and there, but you see a couple boarmen that seem to be like mercenaries. They're actually in the same tavern as you because mercenary work brings in good coin relative to its class, right? So you see all sorts of different people here.
All right. I'd like to go up and talk to the boarmen.
Okay. It's fine, Mama. it's the upstairs neighbors. But yeah.
Why do your upstairs neighbors sound like dogs?
No, it's just that they're like there's like a knocking noise, so he's like
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, you go up to talk to the boarmen, and using your helm, you know, you're able to speak to them. One of the boarmen looks at you and is like, "Hey, what are you supposed to be?"
I'm gonna ask him if he's ever seen one of my kind around here.
A human with sharpened teeth?
What do you mean? I'm an orc.
What's an orc?
It's me.
The dude is like, the other one. There's 2 of them, right? The other one's like, oh, I ain't never seen one of you.
Well, I ain't seen one of you either.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna ask them. Where they come from.
They would be like, where do you think we come from? The great kingdom of the boars.
Okay.
Which actually, hold on, I'm trying to go see if I could give you a better name, because they would actually say, they would have a different name for it. They would call, that would be like a colloquial name for it.
Borland.
No, they would say...
Bordor.
That's a really good one. Bordor. No, they would tell you that they come from the kingdom of the I think they would probably call him... Oh yeah. Okay, they would call you. They would call it this. They would say that they would actually be very respectful when they say it's. We come from the kingdom of the boar god Kurbak.
I'm gonna let them know the gist of what happened in the past. In the past, and say like, we got attacked by this flying winged creature and villagers with glowing red eyes that would eat us.
What part of town do they have this conversation in poetry?
This would be like edge of the slums and the city center.
Gotcha.
What?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta go meet my laptop. Hold on.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Somebody's messaging somebody from the side.
But yeah, so you ask them, or you tell them like what happened, right? And they would be like, they would be like, that sounds interesting and all, but what do you expect in the mountains?
So they've heard of these creatures before then?
They've not heard of this specific group of these creatures.
Okay. Alright, just getting some info. I'll ask them if they're mercenaries or what kind of work that they're doing.
Yeah. They would say that they're doing mercenary work in the various kingdoms up here.
Okay. Well, because of what happened in the mountains, I'm lacking a group. Do they have a spot open for me?
They kind of like shrug, and they seem like they're about to say something. When walking in the door comes a merchant-looking dude,
Yeah.
rich, clearly rich dude. He wears his wealth on him. He has like 3 diamond rings on different fingers, and he kind of like looks around and then marches towards the table that you're at with these boardmen.
Okay.
And roll me an insight check.
Me? Insight?
Yeah.
Alright.
You can clearly tell this is a rich merchant or some sort of rich dude on a power trip. Seems like he's in here because he just wants to show off his wealth. He's clearly too rich for even this establishment, which is a decent place, right? But and he walks over, throws a like small sack of coin onto the table and says, "One of you fetch me a drink."
I'm gonna grab the coin and then just keep talking to the Boarman.
The dude also, I should have specified, like coming in after him would be like a couple bodyguards. Just looking at them, Rhuk, they're not a threat to you. Right? They are like they're gonna keep the common rabble away, but you could easily take them.
Okay.
And when you kind of like keep talking to the Boarman, one of the bodyguards goes like hey, and he like punches Rhuk in the shoulder, not hard enough to do any damage, just kind of like knocks him, like goes like ugh, like to get your attention. He's like, hey, you, the man said go get him a drink.
I'm gonna say if your boss just wants to throw away coin, I'm happy to pick it up, but I'm not gonna do anything else for him. And if you touch me again, I'll break that hand.
The merchant is like, how dare you?
How dare you, sir?
What slum did you crawl out of, and what even is your get-up?
I'll just ignore him. I'm gonna keep talking to the Boarman.
You look like one of the servants of those savage elves to the south.
Okay, I'm a bit intrigued now. What savage elves?
All of them, as far as I'm concerned.
So you've seen others that look like me to the south?
Are you going to get me my drink, peasant?
No.
The bodyguard, like the one who like had kind of punched you before, like steps up and he like crosses his arms. Give the money back, then.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it at the merchant's face as hard as I can.
Okay. Yeah, you don't even need to do. Actually, you should make me a roll. Make me athletics check. I'll say with advantage because he's not expecting it. Like he expected to be treated like a god here, and you instead just go bam. Rhuk is strong, and that's a good roll. You do you aim for like his nose, his jaw?
Yeah, his nose.
Okay. Yeah, you hear a snap as the cartilage breaks, and his face is like just instantly bloodied as his nose is clearly broken, like twisted to the side. And he goes like, oh, fucking kill him!
All right, it's time to fight then.
I think this is the time that maybe I would show up. You know,
Okay.
Kind of creep up, kind of put a hand on the merchant's shoulder, like, "Hey, buddy."
Yep. As the bodyguards look like they're about to move, a hand is placed on the merchant's shoulder.
You got a caravan leaving the city tomorrow, right? Laden with some pretty sweet goods. Be a shame if it didn't leave the city, wouldn't it?
The merchant like looks over. He's like, "Who the fuck are you to speak to me?" And then he kind of like looks at this new character, who we'll describe in a moment, and then kind of looks around the room, and it looks like it's almost like as if he's looking around to see how many eyes are watching. And Rhuk, you actually get the actually roll me another insight check, Rhuk. Then we'll get to this new character in a second. Okay, well,
Lost all the gravitas of the situation.
Rhuk is not Rhuk is not very familiar with the townsfolk here, but clearly what he can tell, even with a 2 roll, is that clearly this merchant is not liked here, and there are many eyes around the tavern glaring at the merchant. He can't. What it seemed, Rhuk is smart enough to know that like it seemed like there's something else going on here, and Rhuk isn't sure what, but he can tell there's something. And yeah, this new character here has kind of intervened. Why don't you describe your character, TSM?
He's like a rather tall, mid-30s kind of guy. Rather well-dressed, considering the area. Kind of like shoulder-length hair. Got kind of a cool hat on. And more or less just kind of seems kind of like carrying himself like a smart aleck. I don't know. I didn't really think about my character looked like all that much.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. And this new guy does clearly, he is well dressed as well. And these words that he said to this merchant clearly strike a bit of a chord. And the merchant kind of like still bleeding, holding his face, is like, "Are you threatening me? I've heard of the caravans around here getting raided."
I bet you have. And if you don't want to hear any more about it involving you personally, I think maybe you go get your own drink, bud.
He's still holding his face. He's like, "You better not mess with my goods." And
At this point, I think you should be more worried about your person. Look around.
And he does look around, and his bodyguards both have their hands on like their swords, ready to pull them out, because clearly there's a lot of people in the tavern now watching, just kind of eyeing this whole situation. The merchant, looking around, realizes his position, and he says, "Let's go." And he like to his bodyguards, and they turn and they walk out of the tavern.
So then I sit down at the table next to Rhuk and the 2 Boarmen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Rhuk goes, so about that open position.
The Boarmen are like, I don't know, what the heck just happened? Who are you? One of the Boarmen says to your character, T7.
Oh, you can call me Talvo.
Talvo? Or Talibo? Talvo.
Talvo, yeah.
Talvo.
Yeah, like that, right?
Ah, perfect.
Yeah.
I kind of keep eye on things around here.
I'm gonna look at Talvo and say, I could have handled it myself.
I'm sure you could have, Rhuk.
Oh, how does he know my name?
That's a good question.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him how he knows my name.
I've been following you since you walked into the city.
Okay, why is that?
Well, I heard you and your buddies were giving the bad guys some what for on the other side of the mountains there.
What for, good chum? Yeah, what about it?
Well, I think we might share a common enemy, you and I.
I'm listening.
Okay. Well, I know something else about you. You are not from this side of the barrier, are you?
The barrier?
Okay. Where'd you grow up around here, Rhuk? Where's your hometown from here?
Oh, I'm from a different land.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know what this barrier is you speak of, though.
Oops. Listen, how about I take you back to my base, introduce you to some of the guys, and we can get to know each other a little bit better.
I'm not that close with you yet.
What about like 10 gold pieces? Can we be close then?
You know my price well.
You actually also at this point, Rhuk, and Talvo would notice well before Rhuk even, but you both see a couple guards actually walk in too, clearly looking around. Clearly, there's been some attention attracted to the place. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of bop my head like, yeah, we should actually go like right now. Maybe through the back,
All right.
preferably.
Yeah, let's go. Yep.
And honestly, for Talvo, for you, like the tavern keeper here, this is pretty much like this is the most high-end tavern that you're really like comfortable being in, but it's still generally working class people here, not the landowners, the merchants, the slave traders, right? You give the merchant a nod, he nods, and you can head out the back door. No one stops you. And a couple other people come with you, Talvo. There are some of your associates.
Yeah.
That were just watching on things with you. And it doesn't really matter who they are, just some dudes.
Pretty much, yeah.
And actually, this is a good point. I don't actually know, where is your base? What type of... This is like, so again, this is like a kind of trading hub city. There's a river that passes through the place. That like barges are sent down. So there's like warehouses. There's lots of different like manors, some of which could be taken over, if they were abandoned,
I was thinking kind of like, like the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, like that cool like sewer area, like something like that. Something that might have like blocked off, or it's like no longer being used, and you just kind of got this little something that's easy to slip into and out of. And then, you can just drop into a manhole when you duck a corner, and it's like, well, where did they go? Yeah,
no, there's for sure there would definitely be some. There's probably not like a huge extensive sewer system, but there's enough where you can, you have like kind of a hidden base under. It's probably like literally like ruins of an older part of the city, right?
Yeah, and it's like I would take him like straight there. I would give him the old running around so that if maybe I didn't like him all that much, he wouldn't be able to just come back later and wreck shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so you guys can you take him to, again, there's like some, you probably go into like a door of an abandoned like shop, and then there's a drop down in there into the basement, which you guys have then attached to the sewers or whatever.
Yeah, maybe at some point we like walk through some people's house and go
exactly, yeah. And Rhuk, all through all this, you can tell that clearly this guy is pretty well connected in this area. And you, the base itself.
Honestly, I don't like the sneaking around.
On Talvo, you could probably tell that from Rhuk does not really hide his expressions, right? Talvo, you could probably tell that Rhuk is uncomfortable.
Listen, I know it seems like a lot of cloak and dagger, but this is how we keep ourselves safe around here, okay? It's not that I don't distrust you, I just don't know that I can trust you yet. You understand that much? Okay.
Well, you think I'm stupid?
Didn't say that.
And a couple of the other dudes that are with you would snicker and be like,
So I'd say we're finally at the base.
Yeah. And I imagine it's like similar to like that is a good like comparison of like the Rat Way or the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, where it's like it's clearly like it's a comfortable little spot, but it's not like exorbitant. Most of it is just like supplies and stuff.
Yeah, something that's relatively easy to bug out from if needed.
And why don't we take a quick little break here? I think it's actually a good time.
Cool.
So yeah. We'll be back in a bit, chat. Yeah, like 5 minutes or so. Okay, I'm gonna take us to the overlay. Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll be back soon. Hello.
And then I said, that's not a mule, that's my wife.
Elma, don't make me ban you. Don't spam the sound effects, or else I'll turn them off and ban you.
Did Elba finally forgive you?
Oh, yeah, he's been in my chat. He forgot what he was mad about because he was being a little piss baby. No. Oh shit. All right. Well then. Here, let me get the other music going. All right, there you go. Now, now we're good. So, yeah, you guys are in this little hideout here. How many people did you imagine were in your little group here?
Well, what is it? It's like in the middle of the day right now.
Yeah.
I think like 6 or 7 people kind of milling around. Most people will be out scouting and stuff right now, most likely.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I think what I would do is I'd kind of take them over. Like I would kind of like maybe like a little war room off to one side. Got like a big long table. I got a big map, kind of like the surrounding area laid out that I've kind of like pieced together as my way through here. Plus, you have like probably stolen maps and stuff from people too.
Yeah.
And just bring Rhuk in there and just kind of sit him down.
I'm gonna try to look at as many maps as I can.
Yeah. They have a lot more detail than the map that you have.
Okay, perfect.
I would notice him looking at the maps and be like, I can get you a copy of these if you want.
Oh, that'd be great. Actually, I'd be like, no, don't worry, I remember them. That's fine.
You can't do it. You can't just photographically remember them.
What do you mean? It says you have an excellent memory for maps.
Wait, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I don't remember what the feature is.
What a strange.
Yeah, you have an excellent memory for maps and geography.
Okay, never mind. It won't be like picture perfect, but you will be able to remember the vast majority of details.
Yeah.
Alright. What you got? There you go. So yeah, no, you are don't make me do it, Zyle. I'll do it, chat. So you guys are you're in this little war room, and yeah, it's up to you guys.
Okay, well, does Rhuk have anything to say after I just march him in here? Like, you want to ask you like, what do you want with me? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you said that we come back and talk, so talk.
Okay, Rhuk. So, I know that you're not from here, correct?
Yep.
Neither am I.
Where are you from?
I suspect perhaps the same place you're from. I mean, not like the same hometown, but, you know.
You're an orc too?
No, but I do happen to know where there may be another orc here.
Oh, okay. I'm interested. Where?
So when I first arrived here, I was captured and enslaved south of here by the Draconic Elves. And as I broke free in the slavery, like the slave stocks there, I happened to see another orc. I've been planning to go back there because a lot of my crewmates are still in that prison, and I would like to free them. And I thought perhaps you would be willing to help me with that.
I would do anything to free one of my own kind.
Figured as much. Cool. Here's the problem. To get there, we have to go through the boars, cross the ocean, and get to an island. And, you know, I got a pretty cool gig going here with, you know, all these, like, purse snatchers and beggars feeding me information, but it's not exactly a force I can use to attack Stronghold. You know what I mean?
Well, you have me with you now.
Okay. I'm not saying that just the two of us could do all that, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
I don't know, I'm pretty strong.
I heard you lost an arm wrestling contest to a barkeeper a couple days ago.
He was a vampire, though. All right, so we need a group.
So what happens when we have to fight 2 vampires?
Yep. So what do you have in mind to get people?
Well, I don't have any great leads on getting people right now, but I do know how we could get some cool stuff. Like, I do happen to know there's a merchant who has some really cool war artifacts and some really good ones.
Stuff.
Yeah, and I think a war artifact's like probably pretty helpful for like assaulting a major keep. And
As long as you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, we are definitely not paid. We're gonna get paid for doing it. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like, we're taking that, and then we're gonna like take whatever else is like not nailed down that we can carry. Because this guy is a real prick. Owns slaves, and I'm not okay with that.
Agreed.
And you know, maybe we can have a duel. Maybe we find a couple pretty useful men among those freed slaves while we're at it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a good way to get some coin, get some cool weapons, and get some men to hold them.
You had me at coin. Where do we go? Also, where's that 10 gold pieces you promised me?
It's under your chair.
Oh, how'd you do that?
Playing the long con. I was just waiting for you to go into a bar. I taped that up under like a week ago. I've been looking for a good moment. So, Poach, you want to give me any idea what this heist is supposed to be like?
Yeah. So, so you would know. So for that specific lead, right? It's basically like on the edge of town. This merchant has like a basically a giant like manor house, right? With all sorts of farms and stuff around it that a lot of their slaves work in. They also just own a lot of land kind of at the edge of town that is basically one step above slavery, where they like
Fun farmers.
Yeah, like they basically the farmers there have to pay like exorbitant rent, and basically all the food and stuff they grow is just enough to cover that. And yeah, no, so this guy has has basically this big manor kind of complex on the edge of town. It's probably got its own like outer walls and stuff, like its own little compound, not walls of any significant size, just like more like a fence, right? Or just a, like a 10-foot tall brick wall around the edge of the house and surrounding stables and stuff. So, and you would know that his collection, since he is a collector of war goods and artifacts, his collection would be somewhere inside the house. And unfortunately, most buildings here you're not going to easily find the blueprints for. You don't know exactly where it is, but you have been in contact with one of like the servants in the house. They would have told you it's like somewhere on the second floor of this manor house.
Okay. And then, as a way in, I was thinking, like, obviously the guards would be kind of like enlisted guys, right? It's not like they're highly elite, like just a higher strong guy.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these guards, like maybe along the back or something, has a like sick sister or a mother or something, and I'm offering like, hey, if you look the other way, let us inside the grounds, we'll help her out, and then we'll just kind of take it from there.
Yeah, this is something that probably you would have worked out in advance. Let's do a retroactive persuasion check. See if you would have been able to.
Okay.
Yeah, first roll with your new character, right?
Yeah. Where we go? That's quick persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
I think that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, you also, if you notice, Tart, he's a +10 to that roll. Talvo, he excels in some very specific ways. But yeah, I apologize. Yeah, you would have figured this out probably like a week or two ago. And it's one of those things like probably while you're talking with Rhuk, you basically just gave a nod to like one of your dudes to basically be like, he would know, like, go check to see if we can execute the plan tonight. Literally by the time this conversation has ended, like 15 minutes later, he comes in, he's like, yeah, boss, we're good.
All right.
And so yeah, you would know that, yeah, you have it set up where if you go to like the back entrance of this compound, right, that guard will be there and he'll look the other way when the door suddenly opens and lets you all in. And it's going to be one of those things where, Talvo, you would know, and this is up to you guys, the more people you bring, because you do have other people you could bring that would help, the more people you bring, the harder it is going to be to pull off the job, maybe, right? Because you might get spotted easier, you'll draw more attention, there's more things that could go wrong. But you also would have more people to carry more things back. So how do you want to work that?
I would say it would be me, Rhuk, and I'd maybe like probably bring one of my like lieutenants or whatever.
Okay.
Just like a regular human who's like a rogue.
Yeah, this would be, let me write, I'll get a name for you.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You would have a one of your lieutenants. I'm gonna write this one out. So it will be Rhuk and Talvo and your lieutenant, whose name is Sula.
Sula.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just Sula works. But yeah.
Which I would then introduce because he's been standing behind Tart the whole time. He was the guy who ran out of the room and came back. Like, okay, Rhuk, this is kind of a tight job. I don't want to bring a lot of people with us, and I want to see a demonstration of what you're able to do. So I'm gonna go, you're gonna go, and my lieutenant here, Sal, is coming with us. Just in case you die and I need to leave and need to have someone help me leave.
Yep. So this is a test? I'm not good at tests.
It involves breaking stuff.
I'm good at tests.
All right. Well, I would say we're gonna wait a couple hours for sundown and then we'll head out. So, anything around the place here you need? Food? We got some equipment. It's nothing special, but if you need to refill any supplies, you can get them here.
All right. Yep.
Anything else
I'll
you
go
need?
and eat.
Yeah. Anything else you need? Let me know. I can probably get it for you.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where just like based on kind of the resources you have here, you'd probably both take like a healing potion with you too. You actually don't have a ton of supply of healing potions, Talvo, but you would have enough to each take one healing potion.
I have a lot of healing potions now.
Oh, that's true. You have the ones from the group too.
Yeah, and I had 2 on me before.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we're gonna have to make him take a lot of damage, huh?
He is a barbarian, but yeah. So
wait, what do the hit dice treats do again?
The what?
I have something called a hit dice treats, and I thought that one of the boys before made some treats and gave them out.
That was Landor.
Yeah,
He's
I don't remember what it
with
does.
It gave you like temp HP for the day, but that was weeks ago, so you don't have it anymore.
Oh, I don't have it anymore? Okay.
I mean, you could have like one candy, I guess, that you kept. But I don't know.
I'll just get rid of it.
Okay, you probably used it like during your travel alone.
Yeah, I still have my water anyway.
Yeah. So...
Oh yeah, would you like to drink from my bag, Talvo?
What's in it?
Water. Bunny water.
Bunny water?
Funny water, yeah.
What kind of funny?
It makes it feel
funny?
real good.
Talvo, thinking that maybe Rhuk is a little dumb and he's describing like rum or something. Yeah, I'll have a little bit.
Okay. I'll put one down, and what is it? 5 or 10 temp hit points?
5. Yeah.
5, yeah.
Yeah. If you chug the water, it's 5 temp HP.
Cool.
But yeah.
Do you go like, hey, this isn't rum?
Yeah, I'm a little like, oh, it is just water, but I do feel pretty good. So.
It is noticeably like invigorating. So. Yeah. So. Is the plan to set out for the job?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Set out for the job that I definitely prepared battle maps for. No, it's fine. So you guys are able to. By this time, it is getting towards evening, so you'd probably wait a couple hours and do all this. You already, as you said, you'd eat and like rest a bit and stuff. And you eventually head out through the town, through the streets, till you get to the edge of town, toward into the farmlands surrounding the city. The city is big enough that it actually does have stone walls surrounding it, and this manor is outside of it, which is why it has its own little compound walls. Eventually you see it, and there are plenty of like people walking down this kind of like dirt road at this point, up and down the road, going into town or out of town. And this compound does have like 4 different guards at the front gate, but there is a more hidden door in the back, and there's like a little orchard kind of surrounding parts of it, so you kind of just slip through the trees until you get behind there, and there's a small reinforced wooden door back gate, and there is a single guard there who you do recognize as the one that your contact, right?
Yeah. So I'd walk up, kind of give him a nod, drop like a little pouch that have like the medicine or whatever in it. You'd kind of just nod back and look both ways, kind of crack the door in, look both ways, and then just kind of rush us through.
He would whisper. He'd be like, try not to kill anyone. Just there's some other. He's got some of his personal guards in the house. I don't know where they are. Be careful.
Thank you. I hope your sister feels better.
He nods.
Right, and now we're inside. What's the house look like?
Yeah, so you're like basically we're let into the courtyard, but you would just kind of go through some of the bushes, get up to the actual house, the manor house itself, which is easy. You do see there's like another guard patrolling around the inside of this courtyard area, but it's easy to just go around him.
Once level 1 of the stealth game. Walk past.
Exactly. Once you get to the house, you kind of let yourselves in like the kitchen door, the back of the place, where there is like this guy is rich enough that he has multiple chefs, right, who cook for him. But it's past dinner time now, and the place has been cleaned up. You definitely hear in the house. You can tell there's multiple. Like this is a big house, right? Big sprawling place, multiple hallways and lots of different rooms shooting off different directions. But you know that you need to make it to the second floor. You definitely hear footsteps above you and in other places. So, whatever you do, you probably want to be quiet about it.
Okay, when Oliver like kind of alone inside the house and room, I'm gonna like look at Rhuk like, are you like good at being quiet right now, or is that gonna be an issue?
That's gonna be a problem.
Is it gonna be a right now problem, or can it be in like 10 minutes once we got the shit problem?
I could do a 10 minutes problem.
Okay. We can work with a 10-minute problem.
Okay.
So just stick next to Sawa. He'll like kind of, Tsula, he'll kind of show you what to do. Just let him kind of guide you.
Yeah, I'll follow in his footsteps.
Okay. So then I guess I'll just crack open that door and look both ways down the hallway and see what I see.
Yeah, you don't see anyone here, and you can actually tell that, like, the stairs, the main stairwell to go up is actually a little ways down the hall, but...
Okay, and what's in the other direction?
The other direction just kind of goes to some other rooms on the first floor.
Okay, well then I guess we'll head towards the staircase.
Okay, just kind of, like, creeping along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Sorry, we're still this up. Yeah, that works. Roll me both of you a stealth check. It's time for that.
Okay. I told you it was gonna be a problem.
You said 10-minute problem, not 10 seconds.
So, yeah. So as you are kind of like creeping up the stairs, right? You get to the top of the stairs where it basically intersects. Let's get T intersection. The stairs come up into a hall that goes both ways, left and right. And TSM, your character, even without ever being in this place before, just has a feel for these sort of things. You actually, this will be. Let's do an insight roll.
Oh, actually,
See how good your feel is.
I was gonna have a question about it.
Yeah.
When you go up the stairs, is it like a wall at the other end of the stairs, or is there like a banister and there's like another hallway there?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It would be.
Yeah. What? A solid wall, or is there something? Look, what I want to do is get to the bottom of the stairs, jump up, grab the ledge, and look both ways.
There would be
that way.
a small section of banistered, hall, but then it would be walled, right? So, yeah, with your insight there, you're able to kind of tell, like, if you have to make a guess, you think that, like, the left going that way looks like it's bedrooms and stuff. The right looks like it's going towards more of, like, this dude's, like, study or office, and you imagine that's probably where the collection is, somewhere on that side. And you kind of, like, again, like, peeking up like you said you do. You're pretty, like, with your stealth roll, this is part of that, right? You look both ways. You don't see anything. And so you kind of, like, go up to start heading down that hallway, motioning for Rhuk to follow. When you all of a sudden hear a door open behind you on the other, like, direction of the hall. Your character is used to stuff like this. They, it's just another thing to take care of. They immediately press themselves into an alcove, right? However, Rhuk is like going boom, boom, boom. Doesn't even notice until it's a little too late. Rhuk, the last thing Rhuk, you're kind of like going down the hall. You see Talvo quickly press into like an alcove on the side, out of the way, but it's your reaction is just a little too slow. You hear, "Hey, who are you?" And it's going to be initiative.
Right.
But don't roll it yet. I'm going to put us on a makeshift battle map. It'll have to do. Actually, I think I have another word for this. Hold on. The nice thing is I can just draw something up real quick, Let me just do this real quick.
Well, it's literally a hallway. It shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's in this case, it's not too bad. Oh, hello, Momo. Momo has come to join us. Give me one more second. I'm gonna try to get it. Oh god, what is going on with Roll20? Oh god, why did it? That's so cursed. Okay, that's fine. Sorry. I just want to get something up here. Yeah, this is fine. No, let me go ahead and... We don't actually have a token for you, do we, TSM? That's one thing we didn't do. Yeah. If you find, like, some artwork you like, you could make a token from it, or...
Yeah, I was trying to do that earlier when it didn't work all that great.
What I would recommend, since I don't want to, like, steal people's artwork, is the The way we did with the other characters was if you go to Hero Forge, which is like it's a site that lets you make like plastic, like printed minis, you know, like 3D printed minis, but you can like use it just to make a mock-up of your character, how you imagine them. For now, though, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For now, we can use a. Oh God, that's so cursed. Yeah. For now, what weapons does your character use?
Rapier.
Okay. Well, the
Rapier
tokens,
and a crossbow. Short bow.
token's not going to be correct, but that's okay. For now, it's fine. Alright, let me drag you guys on this map. Again, I apologize. It's just going to be very, very rudimentary right now. So that's going to be your character, the one with the 2 swords. Just imagine
Oh
a
yeah,
rapier
that'll work.
instead.
That works. And where's Sula?
Yeah, hold on. Let me. Oh God. Hold on. Give me 1 second. And then, what I was imagining with the stairs is that, oh God, stairs would be like coming down here.
Did you get rid of the map?
Yeah, we're on the battle map now, man.
Oh, there we go. Okay, it just disappeared for a second.
Yeah. And just to make it look like it's actually, so there'd be a couple doors on the way too, but I'm not gonna worry about those. Oh God. There you go. Yeah, and so it's one of those things where your characters pretty much just have like again, TSM, your character like press themselves against the wall in a little alcove here. Rhuk has been spotted, and what you would see coming down the hall towards you are a couple decently equipped like guards, it looks like. Let's make this be. I'm just gonna get this set up for you. There you go. You should be able to see your HP and stuff now, TSM, on that token.
Yep, I see it. Where's my temp HP?
It's on there in a separate bar. You could just remember that you have 5, and it just subtracts from the first hit you take.
Yeah, I got it.
You can put your temp HP in your character sheet.
I have it on my character sheet.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Okay, and then I just gotta. I actually don't want the token for this though. If it'll let me. All right, so. Yeah, these dudes immediately. Their tokens aren't like these tokens aren't actually correct. They have like some light leather armor on, and they both have a bow on their back and a short sword at their hip. Let's see.
Is TSM starting at level 1, or is he starting at the same level as my character?
Same level as
level.
you, yeah. So, which is level 6, right? So,
Yeah, 6.
Okay. And to differentiate these, let's do actually this one will be just blue. Okay. So what I want you guys to do now is click on your tokens. So make sure your token is selected, and then you roll initiative.
Which button is that?
So it should be near the top middle, and it just says initiative up.
So I draw armor class and speed.
It says nothing on my token for that. I just see a red circle.
No, in your sheet. Yeah, you just
my
have
sheet, okay.
you have the character. Yeah, you have the token selected so that it rolls to that. Yeah, there you go. Look at that initiative. Oh, that's so good. Okay, and then these guys. Oh yeah, they rolled decent too. And then the other one. Yo, look at that.
God.
That's actually really funny. And then your other dude with you. We're just gonna say that they were kind of at the bottom of the stairs watching your back, just so I don't have to roll them in.
Yeah, and I think they would know, like, hey, hang back and just kind of.
Yeah, they're gonna be kind of keeping it clear.
They're roguey too, so they're gonna be looking for their opportunity to step in.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so they just these guys just stepped out of a door down the hall, and called out like, "Hey, you!" And you are clearly intruders. Well, Talvo is actually hidden at the start, but Rhuk is in plain sight. Talvo, it's your turn first. You are hidden, so if you like make a ranged attack, you will have advantage on it on the first one because that will be, unseen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking right now. I did tell that guy I was not going to kill anybody if I could help.
Yeah.
So my first instinct was like, I'm going to throw some ball bearings down this hallway and just bug out down the hallway. But I feel like leaving these guys alive to raise a further alarm might not be a great idea.
You can always use a melee weapon. You can't do this with range, but with a melee weapon, you can always like bash people on the head and attack to subdue. If you announce it, you can say that you want to knock them out instead of kill them. But you can only do that with melee. You can't do that with ranged weapons.
Well, hopefully I won't one-shot these guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I will take a ranged attack.
Okay.
With my short bow.
Okay.
So I just go like.
Okay. Which one?
Right.
Actually, it won't matter because that misses. But yeah, you take a shot at one of them. Oh wait, no, you'd have advantage though. So here's what you should do: just roll a second one, since that's what it would do anyways. Okay, you do hit, and the good thing is, with your sneak attack, the parameters for it are that you have to either have an ally next to them, which is not the case, but you also can use your sneak attack if you have advantage on the roll, which you do. So when you roll the damage, make sure you have the sneak attack checked. Which is... Yeah, hold on, let me look at your sheet. I gotta look at it. Okay, I'm clicking it and unclicking it. You see
I do not see anything lighting up.
in like the middle of your screen. Under...
Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so then make sure that's checked, and then if you... Do you remember how to roll damage? If you click the name...
Do I just click the damage type?
Type? It's you would just click the name of the weapon in the chat log where it says short bow. Just click short bow. There you go. Unfortunately, you're a little too good for your own good.
Oh, shit.
Because you weren't even like, it's like you're aiming for like the shoulder or something, right? But your blow is so accurate that it's so deadly that it just like rips through their shoulder and just clearly like they just collapse, bleeding out.
Oops.
Yeah, that was the red one you said, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're dead. Or at least dying.
Oh, God.
And the other one's like, what the fuck?
Well, then I think I'll use cunning action to take a bonus action to hide again.
Yeah, okay, roll me a stealth check. And for people in chat who obviously the dude knows he's there. That's not really what hiding in this case is about. It's that it's not literally the guy. It's not like a video game where the dude's like, oh, it must have been the wind. No, it's hiding in this case, using a bonus action to hide. The way I play it is, it's more like you're concealing your movements enough so that you can whip out another shot that's unexpected, right? It's not about literally hiding and them forgetting you're there. It's about hiding your movements enough so that you get the upper hand in your next attack. Concealing your movements, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, they could almost be like, where the fuck did that shot come from?
Yeah, you basically duck back into the alcove so quickly here that they don't really have a lot of time to react, right? And yeah, that will actually, well here, you know what, to make it fair to them, I'm just putting doors on the map now. We're slowly building this map. Let me roll a roll perception. These guys do have decent perception. Not enough though. So they don't actually see, or you successfully kind of duck back into this side area.
Stealth archer in Skyrim.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Next, who's dead? Dude, after that, The other one is going to, he actually is, he is going to shout. He's going to be like, hey, I need some help here.
Shit, should have shot that one.
And then he's going to pull out his bow and take a shot at Rhuk.
Mm-hmm. Does not.
Yeah, he misses. But clearly there is some attention has been drawn. This is a decent-sized place, so it's not like it's going to bring the whole house down on you. But, you know. That brings us to Rhuk.
Rhuk says, finally, I'm done with this sneaky shit. Time for some action. And he was just going to try to knock one of them out with his warhammer, but then he saw Talvo fucking murder one of them. So he's going to rage up, and I'm going to run up to blue guy. Oh, not on him. There you go. Run up to him and swing my greatsword.
And that actually is just enough to hit them.
Oh, thank God.
They have light armor on, but that's not. Oh, god damn. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, they are dead too. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you could spare them because you're using a melee, but you said you just want to kill them, right?
Yeah, it's too late now.
You like lop off like their arm from like the shoulder, which is enough to kill a normal person, right? Maybe not instantly, but yeah, no, they're dead. They like fall over, Jesus. And okay, you think that? Do you do anything else with the rest of your turn?
Nope.
Okay,
nope, that's it.
That guy's dead, and this would have been the end of combat, except for at this very moment. At the top of initiative, hold on. I gotta... this door right here opens. The other door.
Mm-hmm.
And a dude in like, kind of like, interesting looking armor walks through. If it'll show up. Give it a sec. There we go.
Oh shit, it's fucking Pyramid Head, dude.
He looks like he is wearing like kind of like prize armor. He's some sort of like prize fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like it looks like a dude who would fight in like a fighting ring. He's got a shield in one hand and a spear on his back. And as he walks out, he has the shield in his hand already. He's like, what's this? This should be fun. He like cracks his knuckles. And he's gonna roll into initiative. Let me get him rolled in. And this will, yeah, so he'll roll in at the top of initiative, which means, okay, he will go last this round. So you guys do get a turn on him. But he looks pretty tough. Like, to put it just sizing him up, you are pretty sure he probably has, like, he's twice as tanky as you. But he also doesn't have anything special on him as far as weapons. Just a rinky-dink shield, a bit of studded leather armor on him, and his own spear. Yeah, there you go. What does Talvo do? You are hidden from him. He has not seen you. He doesn't know you're there at all.
Yeah, I think we should take another swing at him with the bow.
Yep. You still have advantage on this one. So roll another time. Yeah, that's why. I was going to say, you had already hit him, but just to make sure if you get a crit. So, make sure you have sneak attack on.
I have sneak attack on.
And now, make sure to click the short bow of the crit one, because then it'll automatically do the crit for you.
Crit one?
Yeah, the 27, since it's green.
Oh, okay, I see, okay.
Yeah, since you rolled a nat 20, you deal double the dice. Which is crazy. Yeah, for rogues, that is like one of your biggest sources of damage, is getting crits, because you have all those d6s from sneak attack that all get rolled twice. So that is a massive amount of damage. 33 damage. Like, that is enough that it would have made Rhuk visibly wounded in one shot. And, like, honestly, Rhuk, like, this is the first time you've had someone in your, like, that you've fought with that's wielded ranged weapons this well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Is Rhuk impressed a little bit by this? Like what we'll say is that it goes into the dude's arm with such force that he was like, ugh, like, you know, rears back.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't know arrow could do that much damage. Guy looked pretty beefy.
Wait till you see what the rapier does, my friend.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then again, I take my bonus action to hide.
Okay, I roll another stealth check, and I will. Let's see if this guy is not super perceptive, actually. Almost saw you, but no, yeah, you. He knows he got shot from that direction somewhere, but he isn't able to even see with how quick you are. Where?
And it is night. It is nighttime. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
This, just
yeah.
keep
There are
lights
like
on all
oil
the time.
lamps in here, but it's not enough to really. It's not bright. It's still dim in here. Yeah, it's funny. Like in this building, you can actually hear the sounds of like, maybe like people kind of like hang out and drinking and like kind of just like a small party maybe downstairs in like a lounge somewhere. But it's on the other side of the building from you guys, so it kind of covers up the sounds of this fighting enough. That brings us to Rhuk. This big dude is here. This big dude is not even visibly wounded from that hit, but it was a.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh. Jesus.
It was a big hit. This guy seems really tanky though.
All right. I'm gonna pound on him.
Okay.
Oh shit. No for that one.
That is a no. Yeah, he just kind of like smacks your sword to the side.
Oh.
God damn, what is with you guys? Oh my god.
Let's go.
Roll your damage. That's another wallop of a. So
Poking behind the
27?
screen, steadily increasing this guy's HP pool.
No, that's you visibly wound him now. He is still alive by a good bit still, but let's just say he could only handle one or two more hits like that.
Okay.
He's like you just like jab him in the side. He staggers back. He's like, ugh. Like he's clearly thrown off guard. He was expecting this just to be a fun little diversion for him. Now he's like, oh shit. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, yeah, he is now on like the defensive. He's worried. He takes out his spear, kind of whips it over his shoulder. What he will do is he just goes like lowers his shield and tries to bash Rhuk with his shield.
Okay.
Give me a second. God damn.
Does not.
Okay, the good thing is he does have multiple attacks. So
No.
the
The
first,
good thing. Yeah.
the first one fails. He'll try again with the shield.
That.
Everyone quits on
no.
damage.
So you're gonna take. Oh, only 13. That's not even that bad. Would you have raged? You were raging, right?
I am raged, so I have that
You
rage.
half that. So it's 13. It's all one. That's then half. So 13 becomes 6 because it rounds down.
Yeah.
It always rounds down.
All right.
So not actually that much. However, I also need you to make me a strength saving throw. Because not only is he bashing you in the face, he's trying to push you to the ground to have an easier time with you. You resist though. You take the hit. You just basically put up your arms and, bam, the shield hits. It hurts, but you're still up. He kind of goes like, sees that you're not willing to go down, and then just goes, whoosh, stabs you with the spear. Or tries. Let's see.
He did both of yours.
Yeah, he misses with the spear thrust. And, he's a little concerned about his situation.
Talvo is now quietly impressed with Rhook's battle prowess.
Yeah. Well, you're both learning each other's capabilities, and Talvo, it's your turn.
Oh. Talking.
You have advantage, so
Oh.
roll
Almost.
again. Okay, yeah, you hit. No crit though, so just hit the damage and. That's a lot of damage still. You rolled high on your sneak attack damage. And yeah, so again, just another bolt or arrow comes flying out, hits him in the gut, and he's like, ugh. Like clearly it's starting to get to him. These wounds are starting to build up.
And I hide again.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
This
that's okay.
time,
Maybe
let's
not.
see. Yeah, he sees.
Oh,
He's had enough time to pinpoint where you are, so he can anticipate the next one, right?
you motherfucker.
Yeah. But before he's gonna have a chance to do anything, Rhuk, what are you gonna do?
And I turn to him and say, maybe you're not a worthy opponent after all. Fuck. Okay.
It's not a hit.
Okay.
That is it.
Got one.
It's good damage. He's still up. He's still up.
And
Is
that's
that
the
all?
end of my turn.
All right, yeah. you could tell that he's a little desperate at this point. So he's just going to try to bash you to the ground with his shield again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
He does hit. You take 12, which becomes 6. Mm-hmm. And then I also need you to make the same strength saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this time, you do actually go down. This guy is really strong. Like, what's your strength score, Tart?
7?
Your
Oh no, 18.
Yeah, 18. Okay. Yeah. He also has 18 strength. So to give you an idea, okay. So like your strengths are pretty evenly matched, and he uses the shield to kind of leverage and just go bam. And
okay, you're worthy. You're worthy.
Yeah. And at this point, he's like, squirm, and then he's gonna stab at you on the ground with the spear.
Squirm.
And since you're prone, you are now not prone. He will have advantage. First one.
Okay.
All right, so you take 5 more, and then another stab.
Oh no!
Oh yes, that damage is so good. So that's
It's 11.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that 22 becomes 11. Decent damage. I mean, yeah, even for Rhuk is tanky, but you're taking a good beating now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it for. Actually, he will also now step forward a bit. Like, he doesn't actually expect Rhuk to put up much more resistance, so it's almost like he's getting ready to go down the hall to deal with the other threat. But, what does Talvo do first?
You okay, Rhuk? You doing alright, buddy? Alright. We'll take another shot with the short bow. I don't have advantage anymore, right?
Nope. Just normal. That is a hit, though. And you will still get the sneak attack, because even though you don't have advantage, you now have an ally within 5 feet.
Oh!
Which also is one of the triggers, yep. So you just, oh god. Jeez. How do you want to do it? He's dead, actually.
He's just getting one strike to the throat.
Okay, yeah. As he kind of is like marching forward, again, he's got like prize fight armor, like gladiator armor, basically.
Like he's coming to hit me with a one-liner, and then he just gets nothing.
Yeah, he's like starts walking towards you. He starts saying something. He's like, "How about and he like gurgles up blood as he just collapses to his knees onto the ground. And you probably both like freeze for a second, listening to hear if any more are coming. After maybe 15 seconds, nothing.
Okay, at that point, I'm going to use my Thieves' Cant to kind of like call Sula up the stairs and be like, "Hey, your lookout now. Watch these bodies. Let me know if something's coming."
Yeah, he would come up here, and would start watching this point. And meanwhile, he would also start like dragging the bodies off to like a corner, you know.
Yeah.
There is blood stains on the ground that are gonna be a little harder to disguise, but
well, he's a smart guy. He's gonna extinguish those torches.
Yeah. So either way, yeah. So we can actually keep using this map for just a reference. So you were going down this hallway to the right, where Talvo basically, you know, kind of has just gets a feeling that one of these rooms on the right is gonna be the room that you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm gonna, before we do anything else, I'm gonna kind of like wave Rhuk over and be like, "Hey, come here, I got something for you."
Yeah. Oh. What's up, buddy?
Let me help you out here. I'm gonna use my rapier special ability to give him a little bit of healing.
Oh.
Yeah,
nice.
I forgot that you have that. Put that in the chat so I can remember what it actually.
How do I do it? Oh, I see.
Sorry, let me look at something real quick.
The Yaya family.
Yeah. So using a bonus action, it can excrete a healing goo. Yeah, so it'll be 1d4 plus your charisma modifier, which I don't remember what that is, like 4, I think.
Yes, it's 4.
Yeah, so roll that up, 1d4 plus 4. In the chat. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. So 6.
6.
I'm also gonna take a swig of my water as well.
Okay, get another temp HP of 5.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, you. One thing that's interesting, TSM, your character's probably just now, maybe didn't realize the first time, but is probably now realizing, like, wait a minute, that bag, you're pretty sure that's a bag of holding.
Oh yeah, it is.
I would definitely, I'd be able to tell by looking at it as a bag of holding. I would have seen them many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He'd be like, "How'd you get so much water in this bag?"
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, is it just free sloshing water in the bag of holding? Is there nothing else in there, dude? You have like a bunch of soggy coins in there, like.
No, it's just all water. I have 3,110 gulps of water left.
Yeah.
We gotta catch a pet goldfish and keep it in there. All right. So I guess we have these three doors here. We got this one, and this one. Which one of these seems like it would obviously be like the most? If this is supposed to be a treasury, it would definitely be the most well, like the sturdiest one.
Yeah, the one at the end of the hall seems like it leads into the biggest room. So
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. So I would turn to like, hey, Rhuk, I'm not all that great at picking locks. Can you just break that for me, buddy?
Sure thing.
Okay.
There you go.
yeah, you just like charge.
I assume I'm gonna do a strength check.
Yeah.
Just
Do you basically just yeah, actually, roll me athletics. It would be athletics. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah, just as good, pretty much, and more than enough for this. Excuse me, room. Also, I'm using brow because it's like this is all wooden. This place is made of wood, right? In case you're curious.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is again. I'm just drawing stuff on the map for now because that's I didn't have anything prepared specifically for this because I wasn't sure which way you guys were gonna go with this whole session.
Well, there was like 4 ways we could have
Exactly,
gone, so
yeah.
that's pretty hard to prep for.
Either way, you managed to smash into this room, and if I can quickly find, I think I could probably find a token for this real quick, or what is this? Okay, this is. I don't want a Glock or whatever this is.
There's just a gun in the room?
No, hold on. That's not. No. Okay, I'm trying to find. It's loading so slow too. There are. Oh god, I'm trying. I know I had a token for this before.
That's what my character wants.
Am I staying raged throughout all of this, or
No. The way rage
Okay.
works, it goes away if you don't keep attacking or getting attacked.
Yeah.
Like every turn, it will go away unless you get attacked before the next turn, right? So.
Yeah, but we just weren't doing turns anymore, really.
Yeah, the rage would definitely help you get
Yeah.
through the door. Oh, here's a yeah. This is what I'm looking for. There you go. Okay, yeah. Here we go. This is good enough. Again, it wouldn't literally just look exactly like that, but this is just to give you an idea of roughly what it would look like. There would also be. Why is there not? Hold on. Let me get one more thing. There you go. There'd be. Oh god, it's so big.
Jesus.
There'd be a couple like suits of armor. There would be a. Hold on. There'd be like a. This one actually would be pretty big, not that big. But there'd be like an alchemist there'd be a table with a lot of alchemy stuff on it, like potions and other supplies, right? This whole place is probably like right here. This is clearly again like a collection of things. There are like weapons in like racks on the sides, right? Most of which, just like by looking at them, your characters aren't like necessarily mages, so you wouldn't be able to tell by just by looking at them if all of them are magic necessarily, but they are all very high quality, clearly. And just looking around at them, you're like, at least a few of these are going to be enchanted. The armor sets are like so well, like so they're glistening so much that you're like either they get polished every day or they are magical. There is also a couple other things here where we're building this room as we go. There would be like a desk because this guy does a lot of his work in here, surrounded by his collection. And then hold on. There's also what appears to be a stuffed bear. That's too big. Oh god, that's not big enough. A stuffed bear in like the corner. What you notice about this bear is kind of weird though, right? Again, it's like a stuffed bear, like a hunting trophy, right? Except what's weird about it is that like some parts of it don't seem to match. Some parts of it, like one of its arms, or like legs, its front legs, is like white fur and bigger than the rest of the limbs. Part of it is like black fur, part of it is brown fur. And you can actually... What?
It's a Frankenbear.
Kinda, it looks like that, right? You can actually see like some of the stitches, the sections where different types of fur overlap. But yeah, you see. You see this room. There's a lot of stuff in here. Are you just gonna start grabbing it up?
I'm gonna. What's the armor class of these? Of the armor that's in the room.
Just by looking at it, it is. Well, so here's the one thing with your character, with Rhuk. You are proficient in, if I remember correctly, barbarians are proficient with light and medium armor, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Not heavy though. A couple of the sets in here are heavy armor, but
Okay.
there's what we're gonna say is here I have it written down. I gotta look at my notes. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there is some light armor. There's some like leather armor or studded leather armor rather. Which is something you could wear, and just by looking at it, you're pretty sure that at least some of this stuff is enchanted. But you'll have to look at it later, right? You don't have time to study everything. There's also some medium armor. I'm not sure which type, but it's some type of medium armor that you could wear. And then there's two sets of like heavy armor, and both of your characters would know, but especially Talvo, who's lived in this area far longer, knows that like. It's very, very rare to find like a lot of heavy armor, right? Even in like the continent that you're from, Rhuk. Well, you both are from that side of the world. Even there, like having full plate armor is not common. Only the richest people can have it, really. But in this side on this continent, pretty much only like nobility, like high nobility, have full sets of armor, and this dude has got 2 sets just sitting here. So even if you can't use them, either of you, it's worth a shit ton of money.
Yeah. So I think what I would do, this not being my first rodeo, like, raiding a treasure trove, is like I would look around and be like, is there like a trap or something going on here?
Okay.
Or is there like some sort of magical protection?
Yeah, roll me.
Because there's a lot of stuff to be just sitting out. Protected by a wooden door that Rhuk just busted.
Rhuk.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Yeah, and to give you a perspective, to describe a little more, a lot of the weapons and stuff, most of them seem to be steel, which in of itself, or at least iron, which in of itself is also actually somewhat notable. Most like city guards and stuff and like bodyguards will have like iron weapons, right? But iron is not, especially in non-dwarven areas, like human areas and elven areas, the dwarves kind of have a stranglehold on iron in this part of the world. And so outside of like richer people who can afford it, most weapons are actually like bronze and stuff. Most weapons that like a common person would have. Again, bodyguards and guards of the city, it's a little different. They would normally have iron. There's enough iron for that, but it's still all the stuff in here is iron or steel. Yeah, so actually, Talvo, as you're kind of looking around the room, just kind of eyeballing it up, you have done heists like this before. You know what to look for. You're like, armor could be animated. The armor could come alive, right? You quickly look at them. You don't see the telltale signs of that. You look at your character knows this sort of thing. They look at the rugs. Rugs can come alive and smother you. You don't seem to see any of that. You look for traps. You look for like hidden crossbow traps, right? And triggers. You don't see any. But your eye, just something about you, keeps kind of getting drawn to that bear across the room. You're not sure what. Something seems off about it.
Another question. Is there any windows in this room that lead to the outside?
Yeah, we'll say there's a big window on the back side of the room. That's it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Like that. Here, I'll draw a little square for it. Yeah.
And be 5 seconds.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, because my intention here is once we get done looting this place, I'm gonna use my rope and we're rappelling out that window.
Okay. Yeah, there's like 4 different like windows side by side, right? You can open one and they actually, most windows, right, in this area, like in this city, most windows are just a gap in the wall. These ones actually have glass. Nice glass too.
Oh, I can't wait to break it.
Glass is a bit
bastards.
of a commodity, yeah. I mean, it opens, but you could also break it if you want.
No, I think we'll open it because the break's kind of loud. Okay, so anyway, I would say to Rhuk, like, hey, Rhuk, I'm not so sure about that bear over there, dude.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Who would stitch something together like that? It's a monstrosity.
I think I'm just gonna attack this bear.
Okay.
That's kind of weird, but all right.
You just gonna go for it?
Well, the worst that happens is the bear goes, and it falls over and says, oh, it's just a stuffed bear. I didn't get this far by being dumb and reckless.
Okay, so you're just gonna like shoot it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, take a shot. Yeah, roll your damage.
Oh, that wasn't sneak, was it?
Yeah, you wouldn't have sneak attack. But still, the 5 is more than enough to see whether or not it is a trap or something. And, the bear, like, doesn't seem to move or anything. And so you kind of, like, turn to Rhuk, and you're like, seems all like it's all good, or whatever you would say, until you hear, and you look back. The thing is come to life and is going to charge at you guys. So it is going to be, don't roll yet because I got to remove the previous initiative. It's going to be initiative again.
I'm now thinking, hey, maybe we shouldn't have broken this door behind us so I could lock it behind us.
And yeah, the bear is literally just going to charge at you guys now. Again, I couldn't find a bear emote that is multiple bears sewn together, so it's just, you just imagine it.
Yeah.
And let me just do something. There you go. Okay, so the bear. Hold on, let me close some of these other sheets that I still had open. And I was waiting to reveal that it is alive in a certain sense. I'm gonna start the Witcher 3 battle music. Okay. So, Talvo, you even though you're a little surprised, probably, you do get to go first as you just leap into action quickly.
Oh, does that first attack not count as my first attack?
No, yeah, that was that's what triggered the fight. But yeah, you get to go still.
All right, well, I got Rhuk here. I ain't getting close to it.
Question.
Shot at. Yeah.
Question: is that? Oh, geez, hold on. Let me check something. Your weapon is not magical, right? The short bow?
No.
The rapier is, I know, but... yeah, what's interesting is the thing, as it kind of rears up and roars, you see it reaches over with the polar bear paw, that is its right arm, and rips out the bolt. It doesn't seem like that hurt it at all.
Huh. Okay. I would not have maybe as much experience with magical beings, but I would. I think I'd be able to glean. The bow don't work here.
Actually, if you want, both of you could roll me Arcana checks. So, Rhuk, you have no idea what's going on with this, except clearly this is there's some sort of magic fuckery going on here. Talvo, you're pretty sure that you know what this is. You're pretty sure that this is actually some sort of, like, golem constructed from these parts of bears. And you know that golems are magical constructs, right?
I would have seen a golem or two guarding.
Exactly. You've definitely seen golems before. Maybe not one made entirely out of the flesh of different bears. But, yeah.
See something new every day.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so what do you do?
Well,
I guess you already shot, but...
I mean... There's no reason to
Oh,
not
wait, no,
try.
sorry, you didn't shoot the again, though, sorry. What do you do this round, yeah.
Oh, okay, just that first shot, even though it woke it up, now it's like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I think I might throw some ball bearings at it.
Okay, yeah. So those, the way, if I remember correctly, the way it works with ball bearings is that it creates a square, like a 10 by 10 square of area that it becomes hard for the for creatures to move through.
All right, I would throw it at these 4 squares.
Okay, here, I'm just gonna put it and then I'll move it. Okay. It's like there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so like, you'd probably need to move like a little bit more into the room to do that. But yeah, Rhuk, you see that Talvo just grabs from like a pouch or from his vest or something a bag of ball bearings and just goes, whoosh, you know, and just sprays them on the floor over there. Okay, is that it?
What's my movement? 30? That's 6 squares. I would probably move like down here.
Mm-hmm. Alright. That means that it is the bear's turn. As the bear goes like, and his like roars. Its roar sounds weird. Like it's just not. It sounds wrong. Like maybe it has a different set of lungs than what this mouth is supposed to have. And it starts lumbering forward. Actually, kind of slowly. It would need to make a dex saving throw, I believe. I can actually, here, let me quickly look up ball bearings. Yeah, ball bearings. A creature moving across the area must succeed on a DC 10 dex saving throw or fall prone. Or you can go at half speed to try and, like, to be careful with your movement. But it's not going to do that. It's not careful. It just lunges forward, and as a result, it has to make a saving throw. It actually does make the save, so it is not affected, just more by luck than by anything else. And it will just lunge across the room to Talvo. It's lumbering. It's lumbering in a way that is actually much slower than what an actual bear would be able to do, but it's still quick enough to reach you. It's lumbering in a way that is clearly unnatural because its paws and arm, or legs, are of different lengths. So it's kind of like, crooked and stuff as it comes up. But it just goes and just like slams one of its paws at you. Actually, it'll do it twice. So here's the first slam.
That hits.
Okay. Oh, it rolled really low. It rolled 2 1s. You take a bit of bludgeoning damage. It seems like this thing is too dumb to even use its claws. It just slaps you with the weight of its arms. It'll do the same thing again. Okay. Well, that's better damage. 13 comes
I would like
smacking
to
in.
use Uncanny Dodge.
Okay, yeah, it lets you,
Half damage.
Okay, yeah. And that's good that you waited to use it on the second one. Yeah, so that becomes 6 because it rounds down. Mm-hmm. Good shit. And so the thing smacks you, And, you know, it did a good bit of damage, or it would have if you hadn't reduced it. So you could tell, and this thing it's a fucking bear. It's pretty tanky, clearly. Luckily, that's all it does there. Rhuk, your turn.
Well, Rhuk is pretty taken aback by having to fight a stuffed animal. But he sees an opportunity. The bear is focused on Talvo, so he's going to go and flank the bear.
Okay.
And he's going to rage up.
Mm-hmm.
And give him a little swingy with the greatsword.
Okay. The thing is, again, it's lumbering slowly and is already a big target. Its AC, I'm just going to tell you, its AC is 9. It is very hard to even miss this thing. That's the one thing you have going for you, is that it is very easy to hit. So, yeah, feel free to roll both of those damages. Okay. And luckily for you, you're using a magic weapon. And as a result, your damage takes full effect.
Perfect.
Yeah, it has immunities to a few things. Psychic is not one of them, and magic weapons is not one of them. So, yeah, it takes the full damage, and you can tell that while the arrow didn't do too much, this clearly is slicing through its flesh, and there's not really even blood that comes out. It just kind of opens up parts of it, and stuffing comes out. No, like there's still fat and like muscle that shows, but it's not bleeding because it's not alive. So that's 21, 23, 32, 37 is what I got from that. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. It's not visibly wounded though. Is that all?
Oh wait. What do you get from flanking again?
It's just a bonus to your attack roll, not to the damage.
Okay.
So, and you already hit, so you didn't need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, technically you're not actually flanking either. Talvo would need to be here.
Right.
You have to have like a line straight through the middle of it, right?
Fine, then I moved here. No.
Alright, Talvo, it's back to you.
Can I use sneak attack now with Rakish Audacity here?
Well, like you would have sneak attack anyways because you have an ally within 5 feet.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
Let me swing with the rapier again.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And the rapier is a magic weapon, and you could just tell the difference. That the magic, it's almost like the magic kind of guides the blade into the right spots to slice through this thing and stab it. So yeah, roll your damage. Yep, and you have sneak attack, so that is 16 more damage. And let me check something real quick. Yep, that is enough to visibly wound it. It is actually visibly wounded from this, as it starts to fall apart, literally.
And then I'm going to step away for a second and let Rhuk deal with it.
Okay. Yeah. You can bonus action disengage, I believe.
Oh no, I have this.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's one of your things. Is that if you attack, you could just nimbly dodge away without having to do anything. Yep.
So I'm gonna get like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I can go back here. I'm gonna get behind Rhuk and let him tank some damage. I am not a very tanky boy. And then I'll use my bonus action to try and hide behind this table.
Okay. It is the golem's turn.
Well, the hide action?
The what?
I'm gonna use.
Yeah. You do the hide action. It's and then it'll be the bear construct golem's turn.
Okay.
It's not really. I mean, I'm basing it off of a type of golem because that's basically what it is. It's just a bear golem. All right, let's see. And then it will. Let's see if it perceives you.
Oh shit.
It's tied. Normally, I would say a tie. In a case like hiding, I would say it does. It means you aren't hidden, I think. That brings us to its turn. Here's the fun thing about this type of creature, is that they still do have kind of the innate natural instincts of the creature, and when it hits below 50 HP, on its next turn, it goes berserk.
Oh, fuck.
And, okay, I gotta go check some other stuff. Yeah, when it goes berserk, it gets an extra attack per turn. So the thing just turns and it goes and just starts going boom, boom at Rhuk, just bashing its whole weight into Rhuk. First one.
Yep.
Okay. You're raging, so you will half this. But there's a good bit, and then another one.
Oh, yep.
Okay. Oh, jeez. That's another 10 this time. And a third attack.
Yeah,
That's
God.
a miss. Okay, the third one misses, but the thing is in a berserk state. As it just like is it's destroying a lot of like the table here and the desk get fucking smashed too. Luckily most of the stuff on it is fine, just on the ground.
Hey, you prick, we're here to steal that shit.
Yeah. And Rhuk, it's your turn now.
All right. I'm gonna start wailing on him.
Okay.
The only thing I can do.
Yeah, like I said, it is a 9 AC.
Yeah.
It is easy to hit. And that is a good chunk of damage. The first one is 20, and then the second one is 18. The thing is, it was already visibly wounded. It's very wounded now. But it is still moving. As it literally, you've like, at this point, you've already hacked off one of its like paws. But it doesn't feel pain. It's still going.
Okay, and I'm gonna end my turn.
Okay. Talvo, what's your turn? You weren't able to hide, but...
I think we just run back around and we hit him again.
Okay, yeah, nimbly kind of dive, like jumping around. Oh, okay, that was weird. Didn't show up for me for a second. There we go. Absolutely. Roll your damage with sneak attack. Oh, wow. So that sneak attack made the difference. How do you want to dispatch this thing?
I'm gonna jump right up on top of that thing and rapier's going right in the base of the neck.
That is, yeah, that's beautiful. And rapiers are not meant to be slashing weapons, but they're good at stabbing. So yeah, you jump on the thing, and you know, Talvo is very nimble, and Rhuk, you can definitely tell that just by looking at him and how he fights. He's nimble. He leaps on it and literally just goes into the spinal cord, which, ironically enough, is basically how this thing is being controlled. It doesn't have any brain function, but the spinal cord is controlling its instinctual movements. And you just hear like a snap as you basically just sever its spine. Or, you know, whatever's there. And the thing goes, kind of lunges at Rhuk. Rhuk just sidesteps, and it goes boom onto the ground.
That wasn't so bad, huh?
Oh, well, you guys know that was a CR5 creature, which means that it's meant for a full party of 5th level characters. You guys are 6th level, but there's only 2 of you. So that should have been a challenge, and you guys shredded it. So
Oh yeah.
We didn't even crit that time.
it did a decent
Yeah.
it did a decent amount of damage to you guys, but you still took care of it handily.
Well, to one of us at least.
Yeah. So yeah, you're standing over this thing. It is you know, it's possible it could come back to life eventually, but it's at least out of action for now. So
What can I say? I'm a tactician. I use the tools available to me.
I'm a damage sponge. I understand.
yeah. But yeah. And at this point, what's the plan for looting the place?
Well, how much can we stuff into his bag of holding?
Well,
Well, it's full of water though.
it's full of water. You'd have to empty the water, at least most of it.
What percentage of the stuff could we just like carry out of here? I assume we came here with some bags and stuff.
You
we
have
were planning
sacks
on taking
and
it. Yeah.
and you have another person here to help, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, let's say, you could probably carry. So again, there's one set of light armor, one set of medium armor, 2 sets of heavy armor.
Mhm.
Unless you emptied the bag of holding and used it, you wouldn't be able to take both of the heavy armors. You could just take one. If you empty the bag of holding, you could put the extra heavy armor in it. As far as the weapons, that's the type of stuff you'd be carrying over your shoulder in a slung bag, you know.
And again, I want to rappel out of this window over here. So
Yeah, you'll be able to take like a few dozen weapons, right? Like that's not a problem. It's mainly the armor that you'll have to decide. Is the armor worth emptying your bag of holding? One heavy set of armor, which is what you'd be able to fit in there, in this area is worth a lot of money. Like maybe 1,000 gold, which
okay,
is...
I guess at this point I'm like, so all you have in that bag is just water, huh?
Can I wear one of the sets of heavy armor?
Since you're not proficient in it, it would...
Isn't it like half his movement speed or something?
I think it would like be a... Let's see. Wearing heavy armor.
That's fine. I'm just wearing it out of here.
Let me look it up. Without proficiency, there's some penalty. I don't remember what it is, so I can tell you in a second once I look it up. You have disadvantage. Yeah, okay. If you wear armor that you lack proficiency with, you have disadvantage on any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll that involves strength or dex.
That doesn't seem so bad.
I'll just wear it
Okay.
to take it out of here.
Sure. Yeah, honestly. So, I mean, that it also takes like 10 minutes to put on this armor.
Okay. Wait, but we can also take the light and medium armor with us as well?
Yeah,
Just
if
heavy
you're
armor,
willing to
so
take
it's a
the
problem?
penalty, you'll also have disadvantage on stealth checks.
I mean, I'm gonna take it off as soon as possible once I leave.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you put the heavy armor on. It takes 10 minutes, which takes a good bit of time here.
Mm-hmm.
But you do it.
Okay.
I kind of stare at Rhuk like, this guy sucks at heisting.
While you're doing this,
Well, I'm just going around, going over to the alchemist table, and I'm like picking stuff up.
yeah, your friend Sula would also come in and help at this point, and while keeping an eye out occasionally in the hall.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're able to take a bunch of stuff, which again we'll go over the specifics once you get back to base, right?
Yeah. Well, inventory what came in.
Yeah, but you are able to rappel out the window if you want. It's not a big deal. You have rope. You brought rope for this reason, and you can just bash out a window like you said you wanted to.
I want to open the window.
Okay.
There is still that guard patrolling outside, and I don't want him to be like, hey, what's that?
Yeah, it's one of those things you like look outside, wait for him to pass, and you know it takes a few minutes for him to get back around. And you rappel down, and yeah, you are laden with loot. Rhuk feels very uncomfortable in this like plate and mail armor. He's going like like clanking of armor with every step.
Very sneaky.
I'm just sitting here like, oh.
Roll me a stealth check, both of you. Tart with disadvantage.
Better than my other stealth check.
It's not terrible, actually. However, it still is bad enough that you guys are all down in this courtyard now. At the point where you are kind of like, looking back and forth and going across from bush to bush towards the back entrance, the back gate. All of a sudden, you kind of look over and you see that there are a few guards that you didn't see before in the courtyard here. Looks like they are actually moving towards the back gate that you guys are.
How many?
What?
How many?
Just like 3.
In for a penny, in for a pound. We're gonna dust these fuckers.
Alright.
Ooh.
So here's the thing. We're not gonna do the whole combat here, but what I want to know is when you open with your initial attacks, are you both gonna do range attacks from like stealth, or is Rhuk gonna charge at him?
Rhuk has a range attack?
Yeah, I have javelins. I'm gonna throw a javelin because
Right.
I get disadvantage on my sword attacks and stuff, right?
If I'd known that,
you
those
also get
combats would've been
disadvantage
different.
on your javelin.
Yep.
So
Would I get disadvantage on my javelin as well?
yeah, any attacks that involve yeah.
Instead of what?
And so you have
Oh,
disadvantage on
dexterity.
here, I'll post it. So this is the part. So when you're wearing armor, you don't have proficiency in. It's pretty
Yeah.
brutal, actually. So strength saving throws, athletics checks, attack rolls. They all have disadvantage.
What armor class does this give me though? By the way.
Oh yeah, it does give you 18 AC.
Oh.
So that's the good thing. I forgot to mention that.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah, so there is an upside. Yeah, okay, so real quick then, why don't you each roll me an attack roll? Javelin with disadvantage from Rhuk, and
do I have +1 javelin still?
Is it sneak attack with advantage on my short bow?
I do.
You would have. Oh, actually, you know what? That's true. Rhuk, it would actually be. It would actually be normal, but it wouldn't matter in this case. Either one hits, so that's fine. Just keep that roll. And then for you, it would be advantage TS7. All right, both of you roll your damage. Again, there's 3 guards. You would aim for separate ones to try and eliminate multiple. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not raging anymore. Disregard
yeah.
that.
So Talvo, you actually kill yours, just one shot to the head, right, and he's out.
Damn.
Rhuk, you hit yours. But you hit him in like the gut, but he's actually alive, and he's like, ah! And the other one, who's uninjured, is like, what the fuck? And now I want both of you to roll me your initiatives. You don't even need to worry about clicking on your token this time.
Okay.
I'll tell you why in a second. And these dudes are going to. Each of them are going to roll separate as well. Okay, so this is all.
God.
This is all I wanted to see. Basically, all I wanted to see is, is either of them going to roll higher than one of you? In other words, is one of them
They
going
have
to
a
live?
chance to respond. Yeah.
Exactly. And as a result of the fact that one of them is going to get to go first in this ensuing combat, they're actually going to pull a horn from their belt and go "Rrrr," and sound the alarm. And that is where we'll pick up next session. That is where we'll pick up next session. Yeah, I just wanted to see if they would have a chance to do this, and they do. And so it's going to become a little more complicated next time. These guys literally have like this basically is a slave plantation essentially, right? They have people ready with horses to go and catch people if needed. And this is one of those situations. Although for robbers in this case. And yeah, we'll see how that plays out next time. Yeah, I think, actually I just realized I said horses, but they don't really use horses here. We'll get to that. Yeah, I think that'll do it for today's session, though. So next time when we play, let me put this here. Next time when we play, I am hoping that we might have one or maybe 2 new players next session.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Awesome.
And maybe, who knows, maybe they'll arrive at the perfect time to help you guys. Because we might just make it. I know that one of the players, the one who I definitely know should be available next week, my IRL buddy, we were kind of talking about him and saying that maybe he could be one of your people, TSM, which would make perfect sense to introduce him. So if that works, depending.
I was thinking maybe this guy here is maybe he's not like my lieutenant. Like maybe that guy's like one of my specialists and he was like away on a thing.
Yeah, we were talking.
Came back from a job. Was like, the boss is doing what?
Yeah, we were saying either that or I think me and him were talking about how maybe he's someone you've a contractor that you've worked with, but he's not actually part of your group as well. Could make sense. Someone that you hire for specific things, but kind of does his own thing otherwise. We'll see. Yeah, we haven't really figured out his character yet, but either way, that will do it for today's session. So, that was fun. Yeah, did you guys have fun?
Yeah, it's good to get back into it.
Oh yeah.
I got to have a really cool character entrance. I got to dome a bunch of dudes.
It's always a little awkward when you're in a one-on-one session trying to get rid of the other party like I did. Sometimes you kind of have to hand wave some stuff, right? But in this case, The other party members, they're out there somewhere.
Yeah, you did
Well-
give the option of finding Xena, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? At some point, maybe you'll run into them again. Yeah, I do like how it's funny. I sent TSM like 4 different like plot threads that you guys could work on, or like jump right into. And like it's funny because he didn't even tell you a couple of the other ones. Not like they're going anywhere, but I'm curious if Rhuk would have been like, no, we gotta do this other one if he had been told. But we'll find out in the future, I guess. They're still there, so.
Well, the one pot hook I decided might not be great because he just had that fucking nightmare, and he'd be like, "No, I don't want that."
Yeah. But yeah. So, anyways, that'll do it. Like the D&D stream that I was on earlier as a player, I think it's always good to, say if let you guys do any self promotions if you're doing any streams this week.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing DMC later tonight, and then also Act 2 of Ultracalls come out in 2 days. I'm gonna be all over that.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. So and TSM.
Yeah, well, you know me. I think the way I work this week will be pretty much 4 o'clock every day,
Okay.
4:30. Same shit as always: crosswords, Tetris, and whatever the hell I feel like doing that day.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. And as for me, I'll be streaming. I do start teaching again on Wednesday, so I'll probably be a little busy, but first couple of weeks are always pretty easy. And I've taught both these classes before, so I got lots of material already ready. Yeah, I'll be streaming as well, and I might, if I can, with the other new players, maybe I'll have some character creation streams throughout the week. Other than that, I guess, are we good for next Sunday? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be fine. Would you prefer if we don't watch those character creation streams and just kind of go in blind, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter. You can watch them if you want. But yeah, either way. Yeah, that'll do it though, chat. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.